Welcome those watching the recording. We'll be standing around for a few minutes while we wait for the people to come into the live stream. And today we're going to be taking a look at the cryptocurrency markets primarily. We'll talk about stocks a little bit too, because you can't talk to me without talking about stocks at some point. But one of my big goals for the new year is to end 2022 with one Bitcoin in my portfolio. I could buy that pretty much whenever I want to if I were to just take money out of my stock account, but I want to use new money going into the market in order to buy one Bitcoin that I can then sell covered calls against. Can we go back to the glory days? Go to the yearly when Bitcoin was flirting with 70,000. On the bright side, this gives us a better chance to accumulate more. Okan Batteray, thank you very much for the super chat. The next 3K challenge is going to be, well, the trade expires tomorrow on Bitfarms, and it hasn't really been going very well. So I'm going to have to reopen the challenge with another Bitfarms play. I'm probably going to start making it tomorrow after expiration. But since you've super chatted, I got to get my money gun now. And I don't know where it... Oh, here it is. Super chats get money gun. Uh-oh. Super chat. My money gun is broken. We're going to come back to you, Battery. Thank you, though. Yeah, Beaverbore, I use LedgerX to sell covered calls against cryptocurrency. So right now I've got Ethereum and Bitcoin. You guys want to look at that real quick? We can flip over. Go to LedgerX. Yeah, let me sign in real quick. I'll put up my privacy screen while I sign into that so I don't dox myself here. But yeah, I've been doing this for a little while now. Get my two-factor authentication open. The premiums on LedgerX are really, really good. The big problem you run into is that there just aren't a lot of people trading on this platform, at least not yet. So the spreads are pretty wide, and it's tough to get fills sometimes. All right. How's my sound, by the way? If there's any problem with sound, let me know. But here, what we're looking at now, this is the... Let's go to options. All right, so this is the Bitcoin chain. So if we look for the end of February, you can see if you want to trade the $50,000 call. Oh, this is tomorrow. All right, so the $50,000 call on Bitcoin is only going to get you about $29. But if you're willing to do if you're willing to do at the money, so 40,000. If you're willing to sell a covered call on Bitcoin, expiring in 8 days, a little bit in the money, you'll get about $1,900. After we account for it, it's about $900 of extrinsic value, so not bad. I've got almost 2 Ethereum in here that I could sell covered calls against, but the price has gone down so much, I don't even want to attempt with it. So that's the trouble I have now. Crypto has gone down so much that the premiums just aren't what they used to be. You can't sell naked calls or naked puts on LedgerX, though. You can only do it with covered options. So I was wheeling for a while Ethereum, and I would use it to buy some more right here in the platform. But that's... All right, this is ledgerx.com. So they're not sponsoring this or anything. They're just something that I use. In a little while, we're going to have Panzer join us, and he's going to give us a little bit more about the state of the NFT market. I don't know much of anything about NFTs. I'm really skeptical about them, but I think they do have a future when it comes to gaming. I think that's where it's going to find its place. These JPEG NFTs, they're not going anywhere. Music NFTs, they're not going to have they just don't have the legal support right now that they're going to need when it comes to ownership. Gaming is where I see them finding their way. But I don't really know much about NFTs, and Panzer considers himself an expert in this. So he's going to join us in about 45 minutes and give us the rundown on how that works. And we'll look at a couple of different NFT gaming implementations together. I'm a little bit skeptical, but he's an expert on this, and he's got some adult supervision that I'm going to need. So you do not, those that are asking about LedgerX, you do not need 100 of anything to sell covered calls. So what this actually represents, did I just close it out like an idiot? No. There you go. All right, so yeah, the spreads are pretty wide on here. You've got, unless you're at the money, you're really wide. But you don't need 100 Ethereum to sell covered calls on Ethereum. Every contract represents 0.1 Ethereum. The premium that you're seeing on this is for 1 ETH, but you can trade in increments of 0.1 ETH. So that would mean $90 to $101 approximately if you're willing to trade the $2,000 covered call expiring in 36 days. That seems remarkably low. That's like stupid low. You shouldn't trade that. You should trade this one instead. So for one, let's do it here. I'm going to sell 0.1 Ethereum. So I'm going to sell one contract. And you can see that's going to represent 0.1 Ethereum. I'll sell it at the bid. So I'm selling short 0.1 Ethereum. The premium I'm actually going to collect here is about $20. So that's an at the money. Can't believe I just did that. That's an at the money covered call on Ethereum on Ledger X expiring in 36 days. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. And the same deal with Bitcoin. Except this will be represented by 0.01 Bitcoin. So 1/100th of a Bitcoin is the increment for this one. Can you connect a Metamask wallet to sell covered calls? No, unfortunately, you got to leave your money directly inside the platform. You can transfer in and out whenever you want to. I mean, there's really no problem with doing that, except that there's fees on it. So Ethereum fee isn't very high, but you can also wire money out. The fee to wire money is like $20, so it's really only worth it if you're going to be doing a significant amount. But I have wired money in and out of here before. It's no big deal. I transfer crypto in and I wire money out to my bank. I've only done that just to make sure that it works. The big flaw with this website, I think, is that you can't hold your crypto elsewhere and then sell it here. You have to leave it on the platform itself, which is kind of a pain. But yeah. Lucas, I'm not familiar with the folding ideas 2-hour video. Oh, that's line go up. Yeah, I started watching that one. But haven't gotten through it already. We're going to try the money gun again for Ocan battery. I was a little disappointed that it didn't work before. Maybe it's running low on batteries or something, but let's give it one more shot. Oh, there we go. Not running out of batteries. Thank you very much for your super chat. Now let's talk about BlockFi. So BlockFi was at one point one of my favorite places to hold cryptocurrency. So I have a handful of places that I keep crypto. The first is in a hardware wallet. It's my Ledger X. Looks like this. Ledger X Nano. And I've got everything encrypted there, so it's pretty much the safest cryptocurrency I'm going to have. I don't trade it. I just leave it. There's not a lot on it because I'm more afraid that it's going to get wet, or I have a 2-year-old that's going to lose it. Something's going to happen to my wallet. So I don't keep all my money on there. But if you are a responsible person, you keep your wallet in a safe deposit box, things like that, then you've got, that's pretty much the most secure you're going to get is with a hardware wallet. Or you can laminate some paper and make a paper wallet. My recommendation, keep the money that you absolutely want to have. Like if you have 0.5 Bitcoin, and that's very important to you that you always have that, keep it in a hardware wallet. Don't put it on an exchange. Don't invest it elsewhere. Just keep it to yourself. It's kind of your foundation. And then the second place I like to keep it is on the exchanges. So I've got Coinbase, where I just accumulate, and then BlockFi was the alternative to it, where you actually get, you can see, where are we? There's about $11,000 on it, and you get interest based on whatever you invest. So I'm getting, on Ethereum, I think it's like, 5% yield on Ethereum held in BlockFi. And this wasn't too bad. You could dump some money in here. The stable coins, I think at one point were giving you like 9 or 8.75%. It's great stuff. But here's the problem. This whole service about providing interest, this just got wiped out by government regulation. It sounds like most of it started from New Jersey. Since they're giving interest on deposits, then they should be registering themselves as a security. They're not going to do that because it's cryptocurrency. They never registered as securities agents. They're not licensed to sell securities. But according to law, when BlockFi sells Pax Gold or Gemini, US dollar Gemini, then they're selling a security and they're not licensed to do that. So by default, in order to get out of any kind of scrutiny, they had to get rid of, I'm trying to read cells. They had to get rid of all of the interest that they were paying for new members. So for me, I've already got about $11,000 invested here. That's going to continue earning interest. But any money that I add to it in the future, it's not going into this interest account. It's going to the wallet, which does not have interest on it. Any money that I take out of the interest account goes to the wallet. You can't earn interest once it's there. You can't put it back in the interest account. That whole idea of providing interest on crypto, at least as far as BlockFi goes, is completely gone, because government regulation will not allow them to trade that way or to provide that kind of investment service. So now I'm thinking, all right, is Coinbase going to face the same scrutiny? They don't have a whole lot of interest on most of their features, but they have some. What about, there's another one, Celsius. I think that's the biggest competitor to BlockFi. They're not going to be able to give interest on this anymore, or at least they're going to have to backpedal from it. Until we can get some more clarity on what's allowed and what isn't, all of these platforms are going to start turning off their interest features. So this really takes a hit for me. I mean, this was kind of supposed to be the place where I throw my extra cryptocurrency to earn some interest on it. But now it doesn't look like that's going to happen. If we look at what the actual regulatory development is, BlockFi tries to put a positive spin on this by being like, we finally got ourselves some clarity on what we're allowed to do and what we're not. But that's pretty much the same thing as getting your driver's license taken away because you sped too much, and then being like, oh, this is a good thing because now we know exactly how we need to drive, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, you kind of just lost the only reason that your company exists. So right now, it's just a credit card thing, and that's it. And Sheps is asking, so it's LedgerX here. Yeah, you can go there. Yeah, I mean, if you look here, it looks like it started with New Jersey. BlockFi entered into a resolution with some New Jersey firm, first SEC registered. So it looks like they're going to try to reinstate their services somehow. But this is going to be a long road, and we're going to need a lot more legal guidance from this. According to Zach Prince, the CEO and founder of BlockFi, he said, "From the day we started BlockFi, we've always known that strong engagement with regulators will be critical for the adoption of financial services powered by cryptocurrencies. Today's milestone is yet another example of our pioneering efforts in securing regulatory clarity from the broader industry and our clients, just as we did our first product, the crypto-backed loan." So like they're trying to put this positive spin on this. Like, this is actually a good thing. But in reality, they pretty much lost the most important feature of their entire business in trying to put a positive spin on it. So I'm not really down with that. Another problem with it is that they're using BlockFi. Whoops. Is that they're giving out loans based on the amount of money that you have in crypto. And I think that's going to wind up into some liquidity problems too. So there's an issue here. I can borrow money. Like, if I use my Ethereum as my largest holding, if I want $500 minimum loan balance, okay, so I can't do that. But if I wanted $10,000, I could put up 7 Ethereum. So what would that be? Around 21,000, a little bit less than about $20,000. And I could pay it back in intervals of $82, 9.75%. All right, so this is kind of the the way it works. You can put up your collateral in cryptocurrency and borrow actual dollars. And depending on what Ethereum does over the next 12 months, that could be a good thing for you, or it could be a bad thing. But this is not usual. This is not a normal feature for a bank to provide. So the fact that they're doing this with cryptocurrency and they're not actually a bank is probably also getting a lot of scrutiny too. So these changing regulations, I don't think this is going to be a good thing for BlockFi at all. And I'm a little bit concerned that there's other platforms that are going to face some problems too. But BlockFi, this is on the positive side for me at least. BlockFi is the primary competitor to Coinbase. I'm a Coinbase shareholder, and I'm not happy with Coinbase's performance. If BlockFi loses its primary reason for being in business, then perhaps people are going to take their money out of BlockFi and go over to Coinbase. And people are going to stop signing up to BlockFi and then just go over to Coinbase or other platforms. I mean, there's other brokerages out there that are a lot cheaper than Coinbase. But Coinbase is kind of the most secure. And I looked at the way they handle maintaining their books. They have binders, huge binders full of paper wallets that they make inside of a Faraday cage. Any equipment that they use to print these wallets gets destroyed right after they're done. What else? So they keep these binders in these biometrically sealed, not folders, what do you call it, like baskets, things that you can't open without biometrics, and they spread them into a handful of locations across the world. And nobody opens those binders with the paper wallets in them between when they print them and then when they need to access them. 95% of their stuff is in cold storage, so it's very secure, and I think it's a lot more secure than where you're going to hold money in places like Ledger X. I have no idea how these guys are securing the Ethereum that I hold there. Like, I could never put a ton of money into Ledger X because I just don't know how they're securing their stuff. It might be fantastic, it might not, I don't know. But it's not something I'm going to trust all my money to. BlockFi was kind of that place for me. But now that there's no interest here, I don't want it because it's too hard to transfer in and out anyway. So I'm going to start slowly evacuating my money out of here and putting it into the wallet and then transferring it over to Coinbase. I still like BlockFi. I have their card. I haven't used it yet, but I think there's still some stuff that they can do to turn this thing around, and it's going to start with getting themselves registered in a way that they can provide interest on their securities again. Let's jump over into the comments and see what we got here. Ross is glad to see the SEC is out here protecting investors from 8% interest on USD. Yeah, more or less. Let's see. Sal Sammy says, Mikey, please explain how no one actually uses these as a real currency. So I used to agree with you that nobody's really using cryptocurrency as currency, but I've changed my mind about that because I've done business with international people. So I advertised for a Hungarian company that was making video games, like a Hungarian video game developer. They wanted to pay me $300 to tweet about their game. Okay, fine, no problem. If they had done that in year 2007, before Bitcoin, they would have had to use Western Union. It would have taken 2 weeks. They would have had to pay fees to send me money. It would have taken forever. It would have been inconvenient for everybody. But instead, they paid me in Dogecoin, and it was done in 15 seconds, and it cost them about 1 cent in network fees. So there is value in using cryptocurrency as a currency, but I think that value is really in transferring things across borders or between countries, between currencies, without having to pay additional fees and take up a lot of time. That's really what it's for. I think most of the time when people are using cryptocurrency, they're either speculating with it, just buying some shitcoin in case it goes up, or they're using it for something like what I'm doing, where I hold a lot of it into these exchanges where you can buy and sell options against it. I think that's a lot less common than the speculators. The primary reason for exchanging cryptocurrency is speculation right now. That has the potential to change in the future, but right now that's exactly where the market's at. What else we got? Probe says, what I heard was that BlockFi was lending out more than what was collateralized, which the SEC does not like. I haven't heard about that, but I could see it. It looks like for me to borrow, I'd have to put about 200% collateral versus what I bought, 50%, you can borrow 50% against your collateral, which it's kind of a lot, but it makes sense. If it was more than 100%, that would be pretty scary. Brian Lowe brings up a good point. He says the biggest issue with BlockFi, he thinks that since they were offering loans in actual dollars instead of stable coins. Yeah, that's an interesting idea too. So God of the Coin says, do I think the company will go under? He's been using stable coins and putting them in interest accounts on BlockFi. Obviously don't provide financial advice, but would I pull out? I'm going to pull out everything in here. Not because I think they're going to get completely rugged. I don't think this company is going to disappear because it's an American company. And if they just fall off the radar, someone's going to go to jail. And they're not going to do that. I think more realistically, what they're going to do is they're going to keep diminishing the value of their services until there's pretty much nothing left for you to want to invest in. I mean, why would you hold your money in BlockFi where it's hard to transfer money out without paying a fee when you can have your money anywhere else, any other exchange, your Trust Wallet, your Metamask, and you can move the money around without paying a fee? So all BlockFi is right now, in my opinion, is a credit card company. That's the only thing that's still functioning. In fact, I think if you start running up a balance on your credit card, you might get away with not having to pay it. This is financial advice, and I'm your fiduciary. And as far as the other companies, people are asking about Celsius. Yeah, I think Celsius is going to be coming under the same scrutiny that BlockFi is. I could absolutely see BlockFi not going under, but going to the point where it's useless, and Celsius is going to have to follow suit with its interest accounts. So that's what I'm concerned about. I wouldn't put any more money into these interest-bearing accounts. I'd find a nice place to stash it, maybe start selling options on it with a small amount. Don't put your life savings into Ledger X. That's just my thinking. So Nando Picasso says just came in. What's happening? So BlockFi is no longer paying interest on its accounts, which is the main reason for using BlockFi anyway. They came under some scrutiny in New Jersey, and now that's the end of it. There really is no BlockFi anymore. This is just about as useful as a trust wallet that somebody else owns, and you have the password too. So I and pretty much everyone else is going to be taking money out of here, start putting it elsewhere. Those of you that are asking about the hat, so this is not actually my hat. This is merch. This is Theta Gang merch. You can find the link to it in the description. So I'm going to be signing hats. I think we're doing the first 100 that get purchased. It's the link in the description. They're going to send them to me. I'm going to sign them and send them back before they go to you guys. So if you want a signed hat from Mikey Millions, you know where to find it. And it's a pretty cool hat too. They've got a couple of different options. Same thing with the shirt. We do the same deal. We got a Warren Buffett shirt. Some fun stuff. And yeah, this hat might be kind of big, but he didn't know how big my hat was when he sent it to me. And Justin Saylor says, what do you use to sell options on your crypto? The website is ledgerx.com, ledgerx. So jump back into the market. We've also got Coinbase releasing an earnings call pretty soon. We can actually even join that if you want to. I mean, Coinbase is performing like absolute garbage. I bought at IPO. So I bought like the minute it went public. I think it was about 320-ish. It's like 325, 326. I got in at the moment of IPO. So I was here. I watched the stock go up to like the 400s, and I thought, this is it. I knew Coinbase was going to be a good investment. And then all of a sudden, I watched it drop and drop and drop and has not recovered since. It recovered very, very briefly in November when Bitcoin was making new highs, but it's since come off. I mean, the reality is that Coinbase is a company, they're making money regardless of whether crypto is going up or down. People are buying and selling, and that's how they make their money. They're like the toll booth. They are the toll booth to cryptocurrency. But at the same time, it's people they don't want to sign up when crypto is going down. Everybody YOLOs in when crypto is going up, and then they stop investing when things are going down. Really, it should be almost the opposite. People should be getting more excited when crypto goes down because they can buy at a cheaper price. But the market doesn't seem to want to recognize it that way. The market continues to recognize that there's growth ahead if they are to justify their valuation, especially if we're talking about these $300 prices again. So Coinbase needs a lot of new members. And in order for that to happen, Bitcoin needs to start going up again. Or really, I mean, any network really. I mean, we can get Ethereum going up again. That might even be enough. But we're talking about like 30%. What is it? Almost, 40% losses from the peak. It's going to take a long road for crypto to get back up there. And Coinbase is going to follow it. If crypto continues to go down, then all of the Bitcoin mining firms like BlockFi, like Bitfarms, Riot Blockchain, Mara, all of those things are going to keep dropping right along with it. And Coinbase being the exchange is also going to drop with it. So I'm really looking forward to what they have to say in their earnings announcement. I think my dog is joining us. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to say in their earnings announcement because I know they've got plans to try to remonetize things. NFTs, they're building an NFT platform. I think the NFT market is going to need a little bit more development first before people actually want to buy NFTs. I think the primary use of them right now is money laundering. And then secondly, gaming. And we're going to talk about gaming in a little bit when Panzer joins us. It's probably about 15, 20 minutes out from now. As far as how much I'm into Coinbase, I bought 100 shares, so I invested about $32,000. Now it's worth about $19,000. I sold some covered calls on the way down, so I'm probably more like down $15,000 on it, which sucks, but I still think that this is a company that deserves a higher valuation. I think it's going to keep growing as more people adopt cryptocurrency. So no big deal. I can handle it. That's like 4% of, it's like 3% of my portfolio, if that. What do they say here? Keep the money elsewhere. Martin says people don't want an exchange like Coinbase because it removes their anonymity. I've thought about that before too. Like the primary purpose of Bitcoin was supposed to be making it untraceable. And now when you use these exchanges, you can even have government services, like I think they call it marking certain Bitcoin. Like if Bitcoin moves in or out of a wallet, then it alerts like the FBI. That's kind of not the point of cryptocurrency. But I don't think most people care about that. I think most people are satisfied owning their money just for speculation purposes in an exchange. Most people aren't using it to buy meth. They're using their crypto to speculate. And if that's all you're doing with it, it doesn't matter whether it's anonymous or not. You'll have to pay taxes on it. Maybe, but that's about it. Derek is worried that the Russia-Ukraine thing is going to impact crypto and SPY. Do I think there's actual reason to be concerned? Yeah, I think so. I think there is reason to be concerned. I think there's reason for Russia to do what it's doing, and I think it will impact markets. So if you want to bet on that, you can buy Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin is probably up quite a bit right now. There's other ones too. There's Booz Allen Hamilton, my old company. Raytheon. These are all choices too. So when did this really kick off? This whole scare? Somewhere, like last week, it really picked up. There must have been something on like February 11th that made people believe that that war was going to be imminent. Because look at that jump. That's a lot for a company like this. This 2% jump, 2.5% jump. That's quite a bit. Am I selling options for coin earnings at all? No, I probably should though, now that you mention it. I guess I do still have time. Sal says, what companies do I think are the worst on the market, most likely to lose value and possibly go to $0? Well, that's a good question. AMC, probably. That one's going to disappear pretty soon. Other companies that are going to go to $0. Pretty much any penny stock. There's a reason why they trade so cheaply. But I would bet against AMC. Leaps on Coinbase? No, I don't think so, man. Just own the shares. We don't know how long this is going to take before it turns around. Yeah, I mean, you guys are talking about the exchanges and the lack of anonymity, government's ability to impact that. Yeah, I think there's definitely reason to be concerned that if you want anonymity, you shouldn't be using exchanges in the first place. But me, I'm not really doing anything that I'm concerned about the government knowing about as far as cryptocurrency goes. So I'm not really worried about doing all that. I'm perfectly happy to keep most of my money on an exchange because I think that Coinbase will do a much better job of holding my cryptocurrency than I am. I mean, I've got most of my personal crypto. I've got it on this drawer in my desk in my basement, and I have a 2-year-old that likes to play in these drawers, and I have drinks on my desk. I think I'm more likely to destroy my own cryptocurrency wallet than Coinbase is to destroy my cryptocurrency wallet. I'll be pissed if they lose all my money, but right now it's easy for me to say that I trust myself less than I trust all those other places. The bull case for Coinbase is that more people are adopting cryptocurrency and more people are coming to Coinbase than anywhere else. I mean, when you talk to a friend about, hey, I want to buy crypto, they're usually recommending, or they want to start buying, and you ask them what they're looking at. They're like, Coinbase or maybe Binance if they're really into it. But who's like, I got to trade crypto on Kraken. That's my spot. Like, nobody does that. It's all Coinbase. Maybe BlockFi at one point in the past. But by and large, people are adopting cryptocurrency and they're going to Coinbase. So you'll see growth. You'll see more trading. You'll see more adoption. That sort of thing. Yeah, Jacob, he's skeptical. He says AMC is a little bit questioning. Why is AMC going to $0? I mean, hey, it's a fair question. It doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. But if we look at the long-term picture here, I mean, this isn't exactly a company that let's go a little bit further out. I mean, it's not exactly a company that's performed really well. I mean, this thing did go down to, $2 at one point. And I think we're going to go down there again. The only reason AMC has gone up like this is because of a shit ton of people buying it. And that's it. All the Wall Street bet stuff. Without that, I mean, would they get this one green candle? That's it. One green candle is the best they could do since July after this boost happened. So I think they're just going to keep going back down until they start hitting these $2 prices again. I mean, this is a penny stock. I think that's how it's going to be. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there a bullish case on movie theaters right now? Sal Sammy says, who are my favorite posters on the Theta Gang Discord? That's a good one. I think right now it's Theta Gang, the mod from Wall Street Bets, who went up and down. I like Power Cow a lot. I follow his stuff. I like Panzer. Shallow. Shallow might be one of my favorites too. Jocelyn. There's a handful of names that come to mind. There's more. God of the Coin says, do I think BlockFi will have liquidity issues if everyone pulls out? I don't know about that because I think they do actually hold all of the cryptocurrency that's been deposited into them. I don't think that they have less crypto than they're supposed to be holding. I don't know, man. That's a good question. But I did say just a little while ago, I bet if you run up a balance, I'm not saying do this, but if you run up a balance on your BlockFi credit card, I think you've probably got a better shot at getting out of paying that back than you do out of getting your student loans canceled. You should definitely do that, by the way. Nogo says, what stocks will go up as the mask mandate gets removed? I don't know, but I can tell you what's going down. All of these stocks that performed really, really well during the pandemic. I mean, look at like Teladoc, for example. Before the pandemic, this thing was a $60 stock. It zooms up during the pandemic, melts right back off after it's over. I mean, this is a 100% regression. All of its gains through the pandemic are just gone. How large is the company now in 2022 versus where it was in 2019? I don't know the answer to that question. But you can take a look and see, are these companies that performed so well during the pandemic and now they're coming back down, do they deserve as low a valuation as they had in 2019? Or are there companies that adopted Teladoc over the past 2 years that are going to stick with them? I mean, you've got a lot of companies now that are staying remote that used to not. So when I got a license to sell life insurance just in case YouTubing didn't work out. The company that I was talking to, they used to just go to people's houses and do life insurance quotes for them. Now it's all done online. So now they're using technology in 2022 that they needed in 2020, but they didn't use it in 2019. So you have retained customers in companies like this. I mean, what about Peloton? I don't really like Peloton at all, but does this company deserve the same valuation it had in 2019? I don't know. Did it do its thing and it's never coming back up? I don't know that either. But how many people are using Peloton now versus how many were using it in very early 2020 and in 2019? I don't know. When you compare how they've grown, look at earnings section on the right side and scroll down. All right, thank you, because I don't really use this very often. Can we get a more, like a broader income statement? Okay. All right, so Peloton. In 2019, the company made $915 million in revenue. Now they're making $4 billion. So the company, as far as revenue goes, is more than 4 times the size it was. And yet the company is valued at the same price. So that would imply that people are expecting that the company is going to start losing revenue once again. It's going to go back to making $915 million in revenue. That's actually really interesting. I want to see what Teladoc has. Why is their net income so bad in 2020? So this doesn't even have the 2021 reports out yet. But in 2019, Teladoc was making $550 million in revenue. All right, we only have 2020 data, but I'd be interested in seeing what the 2022 looks like. All right, so here's a great example. Teladoc in Q3 of 2021 made $521 million in revenue in that one quarter. In all of 2019, they had $553 million. So very similar revenue, but over an entire year versus one quarter. And yet the company's price is about the same. It would mean that Teladoc is no longer going to retain customers that it gained throughout this whole time, or it's taken on some kind of debt that's setting it back. Now, I don't know about Teladoc too much. I don't know about its financials very much, but I think a lot of these companies that lost all of their gains for the past 2 years, I think we're going to start seeing growth again once we realize that customers aren't just completely melting off. Teladoc is not going back to the same financials it had in 2019. I think it's going to stay up, inflated a little bit. So maybe a valuation that's fair would be a little bit higher than where it is right now. It deserves higher than 2019 valuations, unless it's taken on debt. And I don't know if it's done that or not. Or diluted shares. Those are also options. But I think there is some value in looking at these beaten down stocks. Maybe not Peloton, though. Peloton to me was kind of just more like a trend. You know, people are getting stuck staying at home, so they buy these stationary bikes at exorbitant prices. But there was a very nice head and shoulders pattern here. It was very clear that it was going down further. That's a big dip right there. Big, big dip. Anyway, all right, so you guys want to look at PayPal. So I use PayPal all the time. I get paid in PayPal. So why is this thing going back to its pre-pandemic valuation? I mean, to me, that is way too low. Way too low. I mean, they've got consistent growth. Consistent growth annually. What about, I mean, is there something in their income statement that said that they expect more declines in user adoption? I mean, we're looking at below February 2020 prices. I think the PayPal one is way overdone. Way overdone. All right, Eric Boyd sent me a super chat. Thank you, Eric Boyd. Appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. He says, Mikey, have you ever gone deep down the tasty trade rabbit hole, frequently shorting volatility in small amounts on lots of uncorrelated underlyings? So I've done that type of concept, but I haven't actually shorted volatility directly. If what you mean by shorting volatility is when volatility spikes, the premiums of any stock go high, yes, that is your opportunity now. Now you want to sell the strangles, because when IV comes back down, the premium on both your short call and your short put will both come down. And that means that you get to pocket the difference. I think that's exactly what you're describing, because small amounts on lots of uncorrelated underlyings. Yeah, so you're not actually asking about, am I selling VIX? You're not asking me about this. You're asking me, am I shorting SPY when volatility spikes? In that case, yes, that is your best opportunity to sell strangles. So I really screwed up, though. I made a big mistake, and I let QQQ go down too far on me. So throughout this whole time in here, from at least October, let me zoom in a little bit. This whole time, this was like my golden era of selling strangles on Triple Q. I was selling the strangle at about like the 400 by 380-ish. So right in here, I hit the sweet spot. As the stock was going up and down, I was making money on both ends. When the bottom fell out and we started getting into these 370 prices, that's when I should have eaten my loss and just gotten out. Reset, try again. Now that we're down in these 340s, I'm still stuck rolling out my 390 short put again and again and again. I'm still making some money on it every time I roll, but it's not a lot. I am getting money from my short calls because the market just hasn't gone back up. So I'm getting something out of it, but that's not good management of your position. What I should have done, eat the loss, wait until we start getting back into this choppy congestion stage, then start selling short strangles again. Holding through this decline and just being too stubborn to take a loss, that's what hurt me big time. Now, I just rolled over my money from my 401k. I'm considering selling some short strangles on Triple Q again, but I'm going to center it around this 350 strike. So as we're going up and down in this zone, that's the right new place to sell it. And if implied volatility drops, I'll make money on both sides once again. All right, what else we got in the comments? People are getting progressively more broke and won't use PayPal as much. I don't know about all that. Firenan says signed hat is available for order. Link in the description. Yeah. So check the description if you want to get in on this hat. I think we're going to do the same thing with these shirts. We've got a couple of different hat options too. There's another white model. You can use those, and Firenan is going to send them to me. I'm going to sign them and send them back, and he's going to get them to you. Hank says, no growth with number of customers and Bitcoin transactions are cheaper. That is the bear case for PayPal. Now, that may be true, but I think PayPal's got protections for its clients, its users, that Bitcoin does not have. If somebody's like, hey, I sent you money in Bitcoin, and you just don't get it, there's really not much you can do about it. There's nobody that you can perform arbitration with. Nobody's going to take up your case and see if this transaction actually happened. Even if you show somebody, the blockchain, or a record of all cryptocurrency transactions, there's still nobody that's going to take up that case for you. If somebody says they paid you over PayPal and there's no record of the transaction, PayPal is going to perform arbitration for you. So I think PayPal is still more secure than using Bitcoin, if less convenient. And Jacob Harden says, did I go to college? Yeah, I went to James Madison University in Virginia. Sell strangles on SPX, way more liquidity. If you have problems with liquidity on SPY, then how many contracts are you trading that the spreads, these like 1 or 2 cent spreads on the options, are too tight for you, or too loose rather? I mean, let's see. Let's see. Am I hearing anything from Panzer yet? I want to see if he's getting in here. All right, nothing from Panzer yet, so he's not quite ready to join us. That's fine. But if you want to trade a strangle, this is how I would set one up. I'd go about 45 days out. So let's go to mid-March. Let's go to late March, rather. We're going to do an off week. That's fine. I mean, it's SPY. There's so much volume on even these ridiculous ones. And what's the volume? 317 on this absurdly out of the money strike. All right, so let's sell the 30 call. Actually, it's not really that absurd, is it? That's the 20. So if we sell the 30 call, and then we sell the 30 put expiring March 31st. No, nope, still more. More. Close enough. All right, so if we sell a strangle on SPY at the 30 delta, expiring 45 days out, you're going to make your max profit $1,400 if SPY stays between these two. Our goal would be to just take the trade off when it comes 50%. So if the volatility decreases, we can take our winnings from both sides, walk away with 50%, aim for $700, and then reinvest it, maybe buy a share of SPY in something else. And the reason I'm using Robinhood KMET is because it is the easiest way to show what I'm talking about. If I were doing this on Merrill Edge, where I actually do my real trading, then it would not look like this. It would be way too hard to tell what I was doing. Real pros trade SPX and not SPY. All right, then I'm a scrub then. Stark wants to know about Coca-Cola. He says, if Russia wins the not yet launched war and does great, then this would mean, oh shit, Eric Boyd, I need to give you more. Hold on, stand by. Communism won in this way. Okay. Eric Boyd says the point is to sell strangles on volatile high IV rank and uncorrelated underlyings. No sense in strangling QQQ and SPY when it's the same thing. Well, you wouldn't do both of those. Thank you for the super chat. You wouldn't do both. You would take your pick between the two of them. But what you're talking about then is, all right, the whole market has high volatility right now. Is that what you're striving? So you would look at something like, I don't know, let's just pick like, what's a high volatility stock right now? That's normally not high volatility. So I bet you NVIDIA right now. All right, earnings just happened, so volatility has definitely come down, but I bet you it's still elevated versus where it normally is. So you're talking about, all right, I'm going to sell a 30 by 30 strangle on NVIDIA, and then a 30 by 30 strangle on something in a completely different industry. So let's say like Tyson or something. You want to sell a 30 by 30 on Tyson. Is that what you're looking to do? I mean, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. But the more underlyings that you sell strangles against, you're getting closer and closer and closer to just strangling SPY or triple Q. Maybe not triple Q, but SPY. No, I think that's still a great strategy to do that. I mean, if you're talking about a high volatility environment, yeah, I mean, take your pick. You can sell pretty much whatever you want to. Like, I mean, let's sell the 100 by 85 on Tyson. I mean, you're going to get enough for a share over the next 30 days, as long as the bottom doesn't completely fall out and it doesn't moon. I mean, I think something like this is a pretty good bet, if we're assuming that Tyson is of high volatility rank right now. Yeah. If that's what you're talking about, Eric Boyd, yeah, I mean, I endorse that strategy, but you have a lot more management to do there versus just picking a handful of selections on SPY. But I see what you're talking about, though. You know, SPY could move. SPY's going to do its own thing based on whatever's happening underneath it. If you divide yourself among a whole bunch of different tickers, you're doing more management, but you don't need the whole market to move together at that point. You just need volatility to drop and nobody go crazy. Yeah, I can actually see that being a more effective strategy than just going straight for SPY. It's a lot more work, though. It's a lot more management. An addict like me could probably handle that no problem because I check my positions even on Saturday when the market's closed. But I mean, some people would say, all right, hey, look at these, look at these wings over here. Let's, what if Tyson were to go down to 77? I mean, your max loss is just going to keep piling and piling and piling. Yeah, that's true. But you always have the option to roll out in time to collect more premium, or you have the option to roll down your short call or your short puts. You can roll everything around. You get so much more management options with this than I thought you would. I thought that when you sell strangles, that's it. You're locked in, you're stuck. But it's really not the case. It's much more flexible than I expected. In fact, I made a lot of money off of this. I was able to buy 100 shares of EWZ by using strangles against EWZ. All right, and then same thing with, that's Brazil's ETF. And then FXI, I strangled FXI, made enough money to buy 100 shares off of it. I've sold it prior. I think I sold it in like December-ish. So I did okay on that. I mean, it's gone way down since then. But anyway, yeah, using strangles on these lower cost, like let's look at China right now. This is the China ETF. Let's set up a strangle over here. We'll do March 25th. We're going to sell the call at the 30 delta, so that's fine. We'll do the 40. Let's do a nice 40 by 35. Holy shit, Eric Boyd. You are taking care of me today. Thank you, my brother. If you want to be a cool guy, be like Eric. All right, I screwed up this part here. There we go. All right, Eric says, strangle volatile futures, SPY QQQ natural gas, be agnostic of the actual underlying, and spread your chips across the table by selling small strangles on lots of underlyings, short volatility in all its manifestations. Can you show a beginner how to say it? Okay. So Eric Boyd, he wants to be agnostic to the direction, to the actual underlying, and spread your chips across the table by selling small strangles on lots of underlyings, short volatility in all its manifestations. I mean, I think that strategy is definitely good to sell. I mean, selling strangles on pretty much anything in a high IV environment is going to give you a pretty high probability of success. And in fact, I've gone down to the Tasty Trade rabbit hole he describes. You look at their back testing. If you're willing to take profits at 25% gains, you're looking at like 19 out of 20 of your trades are going to be successful. And I wouldn't have believed that statistic if I didn't experience it myself. But when I was trading, when I had my active strangles on QQQ, I would sell the 30 delta strike on the call side and the put side. And I think almost every single time I did it, I would at one point hit 25% gain. I could have taken the trade off and been done with it. Moved on, reset your strangles, and you're all set. The problem I had was that I would often be too stubborn and I'd want more money. You looked at their back testing, you still have about a 9 out of 10 chance if you're willing to take profits at 50%. So that's what I would usually aim for. And that 9 out of 10, you feel great about it. When you're looking at that 1 out of 10 where it looks like the trade's going to fail, you have to have the maturity to take your money off. I have failed to do that several times. I've continuously failed to take my money off at 50% gain when I should have, and I have refused to accept losses when I should have. So now I'm looking at QQQ dropping into the 340s once again, and I'm still holding the 390 short puts. My 390 short calls are paying me out just fine, but those short puts are just going deeper and deeper into the money. And I can roll them out forever, but this is not necessarily effective trading anymore. There's a lot better things I could be doing with it. If IV drops, I'd be pretty happy. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen until Russia backs away from its borders. And in fact, I mean, we're looking at a pretty good head and shoulders pattern here. So I could see QQQ dropping down to the 320s again. I keep saying I'm going to sell the next rally with a put, but haven't seen that yet. All right, where is Panzer? Is he ready to join us? Panzer says he's booked. Oh, he's home and ready. All right, so I'm going to pipe in Panzer here. Panzer should join us any minute, so I'm just going to call him. Can't type on this keyboard. So I'm going to call him. Let me see what Finance says. Hey Joe, we should follow sooner. I want to sign those. Okay. So let's get Panzer on. And we're going to talk more intelligently about the NFT market and talk about some of the things that are going on with here. All right, so let's. Do I need to have him on a friend request before I can call him? Here it is. I don't know if he wants a call or a video call. Let's just call him in for now. Hey, Panzer.
My mic good? Everything else good?
I can hear you just fine. We'll wait for the audience here to see what they have to say. Can you guys hear Panzer okay? Do you want to do a video chat or do you want to stay on voice?
I mean, I'd personally rather not have my face out there, but...
Okay. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, whatever you want to do. We can keep you on voice. It's no problem. Yeah, if you change your mind, we'll get you on video, but it's no sweat. Yeah, so we got about 300 people watching, and we need an adult who can talk to us about NFTs. Because what I see in the crypto market right now is it's almost all speculation, and the primary purpose of trading cryptocurrency is to speculate, and NFTs are a lot of money laundering. But whether we like it or not, I think we all have to admit that NFTs are going to be part of our lives in the future. So I want to look at what kind of path could NFTs take that they would make them actually useful for us.
All right, so I'm just going to say, first of all, the fact that they'll be used every day in our lives, I'm honestly not necessarily sure if that'll be a true statement.
I don't know about every day, but I'm thinking that they're going to exist for more common people. What do you think?
I mean, this is a bit of almost like a contrarian opinion, but I don't see crypto necessarily becoming as widespread as, like, it'll be used in everyone's everyday life. The traditional systems that we have, for the most part, are effective. However, crypto offers NFTs included, of course, offers a viable alternative to the system if you're in some place or some time where the currently working system simply doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced that with the crypto market in general, not necessarily with NFTs, but there was a Hungarian video game developer that wanted to advertise with me, and if they gave me US dollars, it would have taken Western Union, a week. They would have had to pay fees. Sending money from Hungary to the US would have been a pain in the ass for them. But instead, we actually used Dogecoin. Like, I provided a service, they paid me in Dogecoin. It took seconds, and I think they paid like 1 cent in network fees for it. So in that regard, I think there is real value in cryptocurrency. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, my 2 cents, in terms of like the money transferring aspect, I personally foresee Monero winning that race because it has all the utility of crypto. It's fairly decent. It's fast enough. And also the fact that it has the privacy aspect, which... I mean, ultimately speaking, if you're like a business and you need to not have privacy for whatever reason because of like filing requirements or whatever, you can choose to not have that privacy. But I'd say the fact that Monero offers a great way to transfer money, while of course having like all the benefits of Bitcoin where it's cross borders, you can send it fairly quickly. It's not too terribly expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing Monero during that November, the fall of 2017. I remember watching it just fly to become one of the largest cryptocurrencies. It looks like it's come down some, kind of made this, this like horseshoe shape. Looks like it actually peaked in May of 2021 at over $500 before it came down now to it's about 160. But this one, I've heard other people saying that it's the most private of all of them. It's impossible to, what do they call it? Like when you mark cryptocurrency, like certain Bitcoins.
It's impossible to figure out who's sending who money.
Okay, because it all gets tumbled in some kind of...
it's the way that it works is you really can't tell who sent money to who. Like, from what I've heard, apparently there's some, like, speculative way that if you try really hard, you can get about a 30% accuracy on who sent money to who. But this is like government level, and nothing stopping you from sending it around a couple times anyway, to the point of where it's, there's a 1% chance that you sent that money to this person. Right, so at that point, it's really useless.
I mean, even 30%, that you can't prosecute based on 30% probability. Like, that's just not going to happen. So if there's any real legal repercussions, 30% is already that is way beyond the amount of protection that you would need to call it reasonable doubt. All right, so we've got a bullish case for Monero here then.
Yeah. If you want, actually, I'll just pop on a mask real quick, and I don't mind hopping on video.
Yeah, let's get you on.
All right.
All right, we'll give Panzer a few minutes there. And when it comes back to, I mean, so a lot of people call NFTs complete garbage. I actually prefer the term dog shit, but I think that's the case for right now. I think right now they're dog shit, but I do see a path forward where they can become useful in our lives. And I want to bounce some ideas off of Panzer when he gets back on, and I want to see what he has to say about it. But if we look at what Decentraland did, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I tried the game. It was so pitiful that I couldn't play it. You basically walk around a virtual world, but you don't get like this nice Google images. You don't get to walk around yourself. It's not virtual reality. It's just your avatar moving around a zoomed out version of Google Maps. But people would buy land in this game. They would own it and do whatever with it. Somebody bought land for $2.43 million in the game. Now, why would somebody choose to spend that kind of money on virtual land in a game that nobody's playing for fun, but playing it because they want to earn money? So,
I can hop on if you want.
Yeah, all right.
I have my camera set up.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Let's get you. I'm going to have to pop you out over here. Yeah. All right, and then I'm going to add you to my stream.
Alright.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd have to say, on the NFTs, I'd say there's limited use for them right now. Like, the best use case I'd say right now that exists is there's something called ENS, Ethereum Naming Service. Basically, it lets you have NFTs as, like, a domain name. So, for example, I can have, I don't know, like, MikeyMillions.eth as a domain address. And the way that it's decided who owns those and, like, who has the rights to use them is that what happens is if you own the NFT, it's literally proof that you own that domain address. Mm-hmm. Like, the best way to think of NFTs is really their receipts. So what happens there is, think about how useful would a unfalsifiable receipt be for something. So, for example, is an unfalsifiable receipt really useful for a $500,000 picture of a monkey? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Is an unfalsifiable receipt useful for a video game? Yeah, I could see a bit of use there. But when you have, for example, an unfalsifiable receipt of a domain address, it's, okay, this is my domain address. I can prove it. I didn't take it from someone else. It's not like I'm squatting on it or something. I've owned the rights to this domain address, and yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot more similar to what I was thinking as well. Like, the JPEG NFT things going on right now where people are selling pictures of whales, I don't think that's not going anywhere, because all of these places, they're advertising as though the only thing you're buying is the picture of a whale. But I think what you're actually supposed to be buying in the nature of NFTs is this JPEG acts as a key that's supposed to do something. If you have this receipt in your hand or in your wallet, it can allow you access to some kind of special club or use a skin in a game, something like that. But a lot of what's happening is people are selling all these NFT pictures of monkeys as keys, but they don't open any doors. Does that make sense? Do you kind of know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a receipt for something that doesn't exist.
Like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, it's like the most famous one. It's honestly odd because it's a bit of an exception to the rule. Because, for example, if you own an ape, you get the copyrights to that ape. Like, you can print it on t-shirts, you can print it on shoes, you can do whatever you want with it. As opposed to most of them where you don't even own the copyright to anything.
But when you're, all right, so if you own the like, whose copyright do you own, though? Like, are Bored Apes actually copyrighted? You know what
you own the ability to use that exact image of that exact monkey on anything that you want.
But like, in what? Like, who's protecting that legally? Like, in what? Because I can go to Teespring right now. I can start creating, and I can put a Bored Ape on this thing. Is there any authority out there who's going to come after me if I start selling Bored Apes on a T-shirt that I don't own the NFT for it?
I mean, it would really be the same as if you're selling like a T-shirt with Mickey Mouse on it. Like, Disney has a much more processing power for like these kind of claims than whoever owns the Bored Ape. But then again, those people have hundreds of thousands of dollars, so they probably have a bit of money to process those claims.
Right. But Disney but I'm saying like Disney actually copyrighted, like Mickey Mouse is owned by the company, the business called Disney Incorporated or Disney Corporation, whatever it's called. And if they were to raise a case, they'd actually be able to say, here's our copyright. When it comes to Bored Apes, I don't know if owning the NFT for it is enough for somebody to go to a lawyer and say, I own this, they're infringing upon my copyright. I think we can get there. We can get to that point. But we're going to need new NFT laws, like new laws regarding property ownership with regard to NFTs.
I mean, the way it works is Bored Ape Yacht Club explicitly said whoever owns the NFT owns the copyright to that particular ape. Mm-hmm. So you have like the entity that created all these things. Whoever owns the NFT has the right to these. So in theory, you could go to a legal firm, assuming that they took the case, which admittedly probably the biggest issue right now, someone willing to prosecute over monkey JPEGs. Mm-hmm. But they could go to a lawyer and say, look, I have the proof of ownership for this, and here's the company saying that, yes, this is in fact something that I have the rights to.
And I get that. I think that's right now. I think that's the goal of an NFT. But I don't think there's any laws on the books that would actually allow a lawyer to reference and say, look, according to Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT Incorporated, who has legally copyrighted these images, they sold the copyright to this person as identified on the blockchain. I think that's the way it's supposed to go. I don't think there's any laws in the books right now that would actually allow a lawyer to go and reference that and say that according to this law, this is copyrighted material. I know the blockchain can facilitate that. The blockchain can definitely demonstrate who owns the NFT, but I don't think there's any law that actually makes that mean anything. Like if Taylor Swift sung an a cappella song and NFT'd that MP3 and then sold that NFT and said, all right, now the purchaser of this NFT owns it. I don't think there's any law that would stop Taylor Swift from just selling that music to somebody else. Like, I don't think an NFT, I mean, am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe you could tell me, but
I mean, I feel like this is more of like a legal realm question necessarily.
Yeah.
But you have the company saying like in their like terms of services, in their documentation, saying whoever owns this has the legal right to it. So it's like there's the paperwork saying that, okay, if you have possession of this particular asset, then you have the right to just use it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it's... I mean, I realize it probably could go up in the court for like a million years and it would be a whole mess.
Yeah.
But the way I see it, I think there is like the legal basis to deal with this stuff. Because
I see that too. I think that there is definitely a basis. But what you're saying, it has to go through the courts until we can get resolution on it. I think that has to happen first before we can start saying that NFTs are really good. And that will happen. Somebody's going to sue. I have an idea. Tell me what you think of this, Panzer. I'm going to go onto Teespring, and the people that are watching, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go to Teespring, and I'm going to design a t-shirt with a bunch of copyrighted Bored Apes on it and put it on the t-shirt. I'll sell it for the minimum that Teespring will allow me to sell it for. Is anybody willing to buy that t-shirt and see what happens if somebody sues me? Somebody let me know, because I am willing to do that, and I'm going to make a video about it. Only if somebody's going to actually buy it. So you guys, let me know. Let me know that one in the comments.
Oh, so I'm not like I'm not a lawyer, of course. I'm not.
Oh, I got you, yeah.
I'm not really anything other than someone who knows about monkey JPEGs.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound like a good idea. I'm just...
No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you only live once, right? So I'll give it a shot and see what happens. Worst case scenario, I have to give all the money back that I made, and I'm not going to make a whole lot. But Brendan sounds like he wants it, so let's give it a shot. I'm definitely going to consult my cousin. He's a law student and see what he has to say about it first. But it's something we can do if people actually want to give it a shot. But all right, we'll do that. You and I think, are kind of on different sides about this role of NFTs, but I think it sounded like we had some common ground before when we talked about how they can facilitate gaming in the future.
Yeah, because it's ultimately, it's one of those things where like NFT games, all that stuff, for example, ultimately speaking, you can only get $1 from $1. It's not like there's any way to get more money out than was put in. But if you have people, when they put money into a game, even if they lose money, they feel like they had a good time.
Yes, that's
and
the basis of gambling.
That's a good experience and a profitable revenue model.
I mean, that's where I can see NFTs actually having part in a game, because you have people spending money on microtransactions all the time, like it's no big deal. You know, people drop money on gaming skins every single day. You know, so if you've got NFT, like by purchasing this NFT, you have the right to use this particular sword in a game, or you have the right to use this particular land in a game, like they did with this virtual plot in Decentraland. I think that makes a lot of sense for NFTs. But they can already do that by just using regular microtransactions. The point of using an NFT would be players can trade it amongst each other. You know, that's where it would have its basis.
Yeah, and like for example, I'm in like this one game called like Mortgard. It's something like early on, but it's like build a castle, send units. Honestly, it comes across as almost like an old like mobile game to me, or not quite mobile, but like an old browser game almost necessarily. And it's like, okay, I've thrown a couple bucks at this, and like they have like a beta something out. Like they have a beta for it, so it's like, okay, this looks like they're at least not total scammers.
Yeah.
The biggest issue in crypto is just like people that are like totally scamming and have no idea what they're doing.
Oh, I mean,
if you have
no
someone
doubt.
that like actually has at least some form of proof of product, you normally do much better. And like I realize this isn't like a whole thing of like buy things or don't buy things, but I feel like if you buy into like some NFT game, I would at least wait until some like proof of concept comes out, or like proof of they actually have the ability to do something. Because crypto's NFTs, it is really easy to be a scammer.
I mean, you're familiar with Axie Infinity.
Yeah.
So
I don't play it personally, but I know what it is.
I mean, I played it and I didn't like it. Like as a game, if you guys aren't familiar, Axie Infinity, it's a game. It's a little bit like Pokemon, where you have these little Axies. They have different moves and you compete against each other. So there was a game there and people played it, but it wasn't really an enjoyable game to play. The only reason that people are playing it is because you can make money by earning cryptocurrency as you play the game. No, I think that's the only reason that people are actually playing it. It sounds like most of these NFT projects right now are NFT designers, like cryptocurrency folks, that are trying to make a game around their project. I think the better way to approach this would be have proper video game developers implementing cryptocurrency into their game rather than go from the other direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, for example, Ubisoft kind of did that, and it's going over terribly because everyone hates it, and they got like 11 sales in total.
No,
so, like, people really don't like it. And also you have the issue where you have to balance it, because if people don't make money, then they may or may not play because they'll just feel like, oh, I'm just throwing money into nothing.
Yeah.
If they make too much money, then they're just playing it for the money.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be... gamers are the most protective people of their resource than anybody. I mean, I'm a big fan... I don't know, you might be too young. Do you remember Legacy of Kain?
No.
Do you remember... Oh, man, I feel old now. All right, so this was probably... the story in this game, I think, could hold its own against like the Shakespearean stories. You know... Phenomenal game, lots of story potential to it. If anybody tried to make a reboot of Legacy of Kain, but it was all managed by NFTs, I would absolutely hate it completely. I think the focus would have to be introducing NFTs very slowly in such a way that they're very similar to things that already happen in games. Like people buy microtransaction skin. People spend money and they get new skins in a game. You could do that with an NFT very easily. And I think people would be a lot less resistant to it. You know, that way players could trade with each other, trade your skins back and forth, and you don't have to feel like there's an NFT or crypto project totally intruding on the game that you love so much. You know, what do you think of that?
Yeah, because here's my thing. The way I feel like it, whoever manages to get like the first crypto game, like game with like NFTs on it, into the Apple App Store is just going to print money. Like they're going to
That's a
make
good
a
thought.
ton of money.
That's a good thought too.
Or like similar to like Android, because ultimately a lot of what these NFT games play like is similar to microtransaction games.
Mm-hmm.
Like some games are free to start. Some of them have like a like set like item that you have to buy, like a castle or whatever that you have to get to start playing the game, and those normally have a bit of cost. But there's some issues in the way of that. Mainly that it's almost impossible to use crypto on mobile. Like I have like the Metamask app on my phone.
Yeah, I have that.
It just barely works.
I mean, I've got my Trust wallet on it, and it works pretty well. But you can't buy and sell crypto. You can just move it. You trade it in between, which you should be able to do on a whole bunch of different resources.
I mean, you can really trade crypto on it as long as it's on like DeFi, because, like for example, the MetaMask app, it has everything for DeFi set up. The only issue is like coding stuff, because if it isn't code that's made to run on a smartphone, then it just doesn't work.
Oh yeah, I can see.
Like a lot of NFT games also have that snag where they're not made to work on mobile. Like the code physically will not work, so they really can't. Like you can't even play the game on mobile, even if you're willing to have a subpar experience.
Yeah. No, I can dig that. There's a good question in here. Help me out with this one. First thing, Andres Pineda Salguero. He says he thinks that NFTs would be cool if you could access different responses from NPCs or access hidden areas in a game by owning the NFT. So in that regard, it's kind of like a DLC. I think that's an interesting idea. And then Sal Sammy says the whole NFT thing sounds so stupid. Why does anyone need it on an NFT chain instead of it just being on the company's server? I mean, my response to that would be the only reason to make an NFT service for things like skins or DLC would be if the company wants players to trade those skins with each other. Now, when you sell an NFT to somebody, the original minter of that NFT always gets a cut. So if League of Legends were to make a particular item in the game, and they want players to trade that sword back and forth between each other, League of Legends developers would always get a cut of every transaction, and you're encouraging people to participate in the game to get those NFTs. You can't do that right now with a regular server. I mean, maybe you can a little bit, but I think NFTs would be a much more decentralized way of them achieving that same goal. I don't know, what do you think, Panzer? Does that sound about right?
I mean, for one, a person can just simply choose to take zero royalties. And also, there is a way around paying royalties. Because, like, for example, if you just send someone an NFT, it technically is a sale for zero, so they don't get any cut of the royalty. So there'd be a bit of an issue, because you could just have people handing them around ultimately for free in a way that could create more scamming.
But that's up to the original minter, wouldn't it?
Is like, if you code it so it's like everything can only work a very certain way, which I'm not even sure is completely possible.
No, I think it's I think there's ways to do that already though, because I remember I made NFTs like to just screw around with it and see what happens, and they're on Rarible, and anytime that my NFT is traded in the future, I get like I think it's either a 5 or 10% cut of the new price of the NFT. Now that's also on Rarible, so I don't know if that's a Rarible thing or if that's an NFT thing.
It's technically an NFT thing, but nothing would stop me, for example, from just sending it to my friend for free.
Oh, that, yeah, I can see, yeah.
And immediately sending me the actual price that they paid for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, to do that, you would have to trust the person that you're sending it to, right?
Well, yeah, it would create like a scam environment much more than you could already say it exists.
Yeah. But you would, if you were to do that, I mean, you're doing that with somebody that you know and you trust, but nobody would do that if they're going to sell it to another gamer across the internet. They would want to receive the transaction value immediately.
Yeah, you could also have a third-party marketplace that sets all that up and basically undercuts everyone by basically doing that themselves. So like have some big third-party marketplace where it's, okay, we'll do this for you. Basically it takes the trust out of the whole equation while screwing whoever it was out of the royalty.
Yeah, I could definitely screwing people out of the royalty. I mean, the way you describe that makes sense because I didn't really think of that prior. The 10% royalty doesn't do anything if the price is $0. And in fact, you're actually devaluing the rest of the NFTs in that game by trading something for free like that. You'd have to like set a minimum price somehow, and I don't know if there's actually a way to achieve that.
Or like a whitelisted marketplace,
right.
I mean, there are some ways to set it up, but I haven't really seen anyone that's been like clever enough to set it up yet, or at least has bothered to set it up that way.
Let's take a pause
Because
for
a lot of what's going on in the space is just individuals or companies just messing around that really don't care if they make money or not, more of just seeing what sticks. Like although it's like a very money rich space, there's almost a lack of emphasis on the money.
Yeah. Let's take a pause real quick. Saad Ahmed, he sent me a super chat, so he gets the money gun. And he said a company can go down or could go bankrupt, confiscated anytime. Blockchain is forever. It's a way to make digital items ownable without needing to rely on a company. Okay, blockchain is forever. I don't know, what do you make of his statement there? Now, I think there's value in ownership of non-tangible assets through NFTs, but kind of like we talked about, I don't think legally we have the protections yet for ownership of thing directly through a blockchain. I don't know if legally owning something on a blockchain really does anything in terms of who can use the product. That's why I think gaming can do it, because there is a central authority in the developers that can make sure that happens. But I don't know. I think you and I are on different sides of the coin when we talk about, in general, does owning something on a blockchain mean ownership? But it sounds like we're a little bit more aligned when it comes to gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Buck Star Chaser says, wait a minute, is an NFT based off of the Steam cards racket? I don't know what he's referring to there. What is this? See, people are talking about the Steam marketplace. I don't really use that. Can you trade like in-game skins on the Steam marketplace? Yes. You can already do that.
Honestly, I would say the Steam marketplace is more or less NFTs before NFTs. That is basically what they are.
Well, if that's the case, then honestly, NFTs aren't doing anything. If you can already do that on the Steam marketplace, then the NFT is not really doing much at all.
Yeah, but it really doesn't, because also, like, for example, if Steam says screw you, you really can't do anything. If a marketplace, like for NFTs, says screw you, you say, well, screw you, I'm going to the other marketplace.
Right,
it's
okay.
a lot less up to the discretion of Steam. And, like, yeah, so there is definitely give and take. However, so far, I would personally say the way that Steam does things is better, mostly because Steam isn't considered a generally terrible company that's known for stealing money.
Yeah. That's, I mean, Steam's got a pretty solid reputation, but there has to be something that you can't trade on Steam. Like, if I had like, you tell me that any skin ever that you have bought in any game out there, you can just go right over to Steam and just trade it with somebody?
If Steam set it up that way, or like if the company that made the game set it up that way to work through the Steam marketplace, yes.
TW says you can't cash out or trade on Steam. So it would only be like Steam dollars? You can't like actually get money?
I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, that's a good point, because you really kind of can't cash out.
Yeah.
Unless you like sell the Steam skin on a third-party marketplace, which then goes into the exact same issues that we had previously. Actually, I didn't think about that. No, that's a good point. Yeah. Where NFTs would allow you to cash out much easier, but it makes the gaming much more about the money.
Yeah, yeah. Now that okay, that makes sense. So then in that case, NFTs actually are doing something, in that you can cash out to something other than Steam tokens that you can use to spend on more games. So TRYT says there are third-party sites. Yeah, there's third-party sites. I wonder if they make it as easy as NFTs would, because you can just trade NFT to NFT.
You can also just trade NFT for like Ethereum NFT for Matic NFT for...
Yeah. I mean, I think that, all right, so the fact that you can do most of what I just described on Steam already means that they lose their value. I mean, in terms of utility, the NFTs are less useful for gaming than I thought, but there is value there in the fact that you can actually get money out of it instead of just getting Steam tokens and then trying to cash it out on a third-party website. That it sounds a lot more complicated than just being able to trade an NFT to somebody for money. And Steam can't guarantee non-fungibility, according to Aslan. I don't know if that's ever been a problem for them, but Beaverboy says you could sell on op skins for more money, but Steam doesn't do withdrawals. So you'd have to find a way to facilitate it through somebody that's going to take fees and stuff. Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Or
go ahead.
I mean, I feel like it's almost just like a different way of doing a very similar thing. Because like my opinion is the NFT space is in almost like a blow off top right now. It is going way over what the value of it should reasonably be. Now there's some projects out there, it's really like the stock market, where there are some projects out there that I'd say for now are a good value for money, but a lot of it is just, it has gone up so much that I really can't justify a lot of it. Like,
Yeah,
for
well,
example,
it's just
Ethereum
speculators.
being like a $400 billion asset class, but the fact that it's terrible to run on, and unless you're already a millionaire, you kind of really can't run stuff on it, makes me feel like Ethereum isn't really worth $3,000 per token they're asking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about that all the time every time I buy it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's so much inflation right now because I think it's speculators driving it up. So what I'm looking at right now, this is an NFT facilitated game called League of Metaverse. So I mean, if you look for things like this, you're going to find thousands of them. There's a whole bunch of developers trying to implement NFTs into their game, and this looks like the Unreal Engine to me. I don't know about you guys, but I can see in the future a place where people play a game that looks like this, and instead of buying skins or weapons or items from a store, you would buy them from other players using real money. And I don't know if there's any way to actually do that right now. The only way to do that would be to go through like some kind of developer or their server in order to do it. But if this were to become a popular game, I can see there being demand for it. I mean, this has, the graphics are okay, but there's obviously a lot of work to do on a game like this. I think if there's developers out there that they can make a game that people actually want to play, like they are desirous of playing the game for personal enjoyment, I can see NFTs getting a place in that game so that players can trade with each other using crypto instead of having to go through the company itself or making purchases in-game in order to get items and skins and things like that. I don't know, does anybody agree with me, or am I the only one in the world that actually thinks that there is a place for NFTs? There's going to be a lot, they're going to have to ease into it, but I think gamers will accept NFTs in the future if it's done correctly and people actually give a shit about the game itself.
I mean, that's probably going to be like the biggest issue, is getting people to actually care about the game while it makes them money. Because when people make money, they stop caring about the game and they view it more as like a job.
Yeah, well, that's what the problem is right now.
Have it, like, Axie Infinity has this problem where it's basically a race to the floor of who can pay for the cheapest possible labor to do it for them to make the money. So you're going to have a point where it's basically like a bunch of Bangladeshis on below minimum wage for Bangladesh trying to all beat each other, and it's not going to have any money left in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about when I say games that people actually want to play versus games that people are playing just to make a few cents. Like this Legends of Metaverse, like, I mean, that looked like, they have a lot of work to do. The game itself, I mean, it looked okay, but it wasn't exactly new in terms of its graphics, and it didn't look like it had any new capabilities. But as gamers, as developers start making games that integrate more organically with NFTs, I think that's where we're going to see some value. And I think Nicholas Richards, he says, you're talking about a World of Warcraft style NFT game. That's exactly what I'm describing. That's really what I'm thinking about. Like, can that be achieved?
I mean, it's a lot of what I found is, like, for now, a lot of the stuff that's like big graphics and everything fancy, it's not really like I feel like a lot of that stuff, they overpromise the graphics and then it looks terrible. Like for now, I would much rather be in NFT projects where it's like one or two people making the game that they want to make, because there's a lot of those out there right now, and then just playing those rather than all like the big stuff. Because A, it's already hyped up, so I don't see much of a possibility for like making money at this point. Like, sure, if you got into Decentraland really early, then you'd probably be making good money right now.
Right.
But once it's like, it's this big, so unless it's something where it's like a couple people making a game that they want to make, and it comes from like the heart rather than let's go make money, I really wouldn't get into like any of the metaverse gaming stuff right now.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is I totally agree with you too. Every time I keep saying that somebody actually has to give a shit about the game that they're making and not just the NFT benefits from it, what you're saying is exactly what I'm trying to describe. Like gamers love their games for the actual enjoyment of the game. Developers hopefully should like the game that they're developing so that they can really put effort into making it an enjoyable experience. Right now, all these Axie Infinity, what else? Decentraland, there's DeFi kingdoms and stuff like that. Would anybody play any of those games if they weren't able to get cryptocurrency as a reward for it?
I mean, I haven't personally played it, but I've been following quite along with a bit and know some people that do. It seems like DeFi Kingdoms is at least a bit more of a game that people actually would play, but it's almost at this point prohibitively expensive because it's like $500 entry fee minimum right there.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Axie. Same thing with Axie. Like to get 3 decent Axies so that you can actually be competitive in the game, I want to just find like a DeFi Kingdoms, somebody actually playing the game. Yeah, so I mean, here's the DeFi Kingdoms. It looks like a game. It looks like something that people would actually want to play. So, Buck is bringing up a good point here. So if your logic stops at if people will pay to win, then facilitating that will make us win, you will lose because nobody wants a pay-to-win game. And that, I agree. Nobody wants just a game where the whole point of the game is to pay money so that you can get items that make you competitive in the game. And that's why I'm thinking skins are probably good because it doesn't really throw off the balance of the game quite as much. Some kind of DLC would be a good way to implement this because it doesn't affect the free-to-play players. I mean, there's going to be some advantage to owning NFT items in a game. I mean, that happens all the time. Even hyper-casual games. You pay $6, all of a sudden you get like a more competitive character or something like that. That's going to happen. But you can't totally throw off the balance of the game by making it grossly in favor of the NFT buyers. That would kind of ruin things.
Yeah, and ultimately you also need to keep it like, you can't have the game be cost prohibitive because then sooner or later it will just run out of steam. Like you need a way to balance out the people that are incredibly broke to have a good time while having the rich people be there and may or may not make money. It's like a real difficult balancing act to do. Because ultimately, I feel like the best way you're going to do that is balance off time and money. Like, if you have someone that puts in a lot of time, they're going to do well. But then again, you can also buy labor at 5 cents an hour from some third world country.
From like
so
India, yeah.
It becomes a balancing issue again there.
Yeah, I mean, it's video games are hitting a low point when you're paying other people to play video games for you. But, I mean, that's kind of the reality of some of these games right now. I mean, are you familiar with the scholarships on Axie Infinity?
Yeah, I've seen those, and basically they outsource it to, I think, the Philippines.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they hand them out, and it's like, okay, you have to get a minimum amount for us, or you're fired.
Yeah, so I actually looked at that. I mean, I don't know if you follow my freeloader challenge, but one of the things I was looking at was, should I buy Axies and then pay a 50-50 cut with somebody in like, Laos to play a video game for me, and we can each keep like 3 cents of cryptocurrency per hour for it. And I mean, the fact of the matter was, to even get into some of these NFT games, it's like $1,000 of Ethereum just to get the resources to play. And the same problem with Decentraland. I mean, if you want to start by buying one piece of property, it's like, I don't know, apparently $1 million now. When I was looking at it, it was at least like $500 to get a piece of land in the game so that you could start playing. Axie Infinity, $1,000. I don't know, DeFi Kingdoms, maybe it's equally. But it's super expensive to start playing, and I don't think people are going to put up that kind of money forever unless the game is actually enjoyable.
I mean, for example, the projects I'm in right now, they're like $30 to $50 entry fee. Where it's like, okay, I can see people playing this for a while.
Yeah.
I'm actually pulling up like how much starting DeFi Kingdoms cost right now because I'm kind of curious. I haven't checked in a week or two.
According to Nicholas Richards, they're about $300 for a character, so very similar to Axie Infinity. Buck Star Chaser, he says, Path of Exile is a good example of anti-pay-to-win. For years, they were highly loved and appreciated for being free to play and strictly only accepting money for non-prestige Google. Oh, I moved. Accepting money for non-stats vanity items. So things like skins or like a special gem. I can see that. Another good example, RuneScape. I bet you RuneScape would be a game that can benefit from NFTs. So let's take a pause. Anonymous here. He says, it's good to see informed people who aren't overhyping NFTs like both of you. Are we going to see Panzer more often? I mean, that's up to Panzer. I'd be more than happy to have him frequently. Thank you for the super chat very much, Anonymous. And the fact that you just paid me in euros means that you are now the highest paying super chatter of the day. So I'm going to give you an extra money gun. Thank you for your support to the channel. But as far as seeing Panzer more often, I mean, that's up to him. He could be my guy when it comes to NFT type stuff. But
I mean,
that's his
yeah, I
choice.
could probably help.
Yeah.
I could probably arrange for that a bit because, I mean, I personally try to keep an eye on the space because, like, straight up, I've never put, like, $1 of my own money into crypto, but I keep pulling it out and making money magically. So, like, I see people, and it's like in crypto, I've never put any money in. So, whenever I take money out, like 20, 30 bucks or even more, if it's something nice, it's just, to me, it's all like play money, and I know it's real money. But, like, at the end of the day, if the world crashed, crypto went to zero tomorrow, I'd walk away no broker than I walked in.
Yeah. Oh, how do you get all this free cryptocurrency?
I mean, like, the way that
selling
I
drugs or something?
Nah. It's like the biz hustle. Where basically you would drop your address in like a 4chan biz thread.
Oh,
and you would get
airdropping
tokens.
And shit like that. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Like,
I tried
I'm not
that and I
even
couldn't really
joking.
get anything. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of died out like just as I was getting in there. But there were some airdrops that were legitimately, they became thousands of dollars a piece. Like, I got lucky on one of them, and I think I pulled out like $900 from one this month.
We're gonna have to have a little tutorial session on that at some point because I've been trying to get into airdrops off of 4chan, and I think I got like 900,000 coins called like cute kitties or something like that. It's like illiquid.
Yeah,
Nobody's chilling with it.
It's really hit or miss because you need to be in like the first round of airdrops where they give you way too much, and then it explodes when they didn't expect it to explode. So you have an insane amount, and you get really lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I can dig that, and it's worth the time.
I'd really say it's not something that you can quite give a tutorial on. It's kind of luck and something that you just need to do by like feel.
I mean, I just want you to show me how to where do I enter my wallet address? That's all I want. How do I find a place to drop it, and where do I go? All right, you want me to go to 4chan over here?
Tutorial just for everyone right now. You can just go on Biz.
I'm gonna get like demonetized.
Reply. Like if there's someone saying like airdrop, drop your address, just paste your Metamask public address, not private key, public address, the one that begins with OX in it. And then if you paste that, you may or may not get free coins.
All right, I gotta go like directly to Biz because I'll get demonetized if I go to 4chan. But let me see if I can go straight there. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Family friendly.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that right now. But just drop your. All right, fine, deal. Okay, I can work with that.
Just go through. If someone says like airdrop thread, drop your address. You just like paste your address, and you might get free coins.
All right, that sounds a lot easier than the way I've been pulling free crypto. But I do want to shamelessly shill this right here. This is so free cash is something I've been using. I've been able to get like $700 off of. You download a game, you play a game instead of companies advertising their games like traditional methods, like you pay money to run ads. They just pay you to play the game, and you get bored and stop if you want to, but you still get paid. So I've been using that. Sounds like a lot more effort than what Panzer is describing, but that's something I really like being able to do. Just like in my free time, just play some stupid game and get paid like $10 of Bitcoin. But another option for those that are looking to do what he's doing as far as free crypto goes, but a different methodology. So I'm just shamelessly going to shill that real quick because I enjoy that service very, very much.
I mean, the way I do it, it's kind of died out because you had people figure out real quickly that you can get a lot of free money, and those opportunities tend to disappear very fast.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you can get like a significant amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard other people. I think you might actually be the one that told me about this prior when we were just on Discord. You were talking about it. Yeah, that was you. Okay. That sounds familiar. So what I'm looking at right now, this is the Immutable X marketplace. It looks like this is what a character would cost you to play that game that I showed you. So we're looking at like a 10. So this is still like, what is that now? $400 approximately. Not quite.
What's the floor price?
It looks like they're all going for at least like 0.13. So, or here's 0.1. So 0.1 Ethereum approximately. So the cheapest ones you can get them for like $300. It's still kind of a lot though. So it's still the same thing as Axie. You know, it's the same type of deal. Very expensive to start playing, but I still think that there's room here that if a developer could get it right, make an enjoyable game, and make it free to play, but maybe pay for vanity items, I think that's where it's going to come into play. I'm pulling up this one too. This is Kitty Dinger. It's another game.
What was the project called? I'll see if I can find like everything real quick.
Immutable X is the exchange, but Legends of Metaverse is the game. And here's another one. This is Kitty Dinger. Like I'm still looking for that game that's going to end up winning out and actually be enjoyable to play. So this is called Schrodinger, Elon Musk's cat. They want to aim to build an ecosystem of decentralized applications while generating funds to support charities. Okay, that's cute. Creating a community-driven token supports... Okay. I'm looking here because they advertise a game. All right, so part of it's going to go to charity. That's nice. It's good tax write-off. Wallet. Kitmanji. Here's the game. Save the Animal Kingdom. So it's probably... All right, so play to earn. Kitty Metaverse play to earn. The game has already begun development on the Schrodinger pay-to-earn game set for release shortly. Online video games have become more prevalent in recent years, MMORPG. So this is where I think it's going to go. I mean, we've talked a few times about different play-to-earn games. I think this MMORPG route is where NFTs are actually going to find their home in gaming.
Sorry, you're breaking up on me a bit. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was saying, because this is the first time we've actually seen the word MMORPG, and we've talked about them. But I think these MMORPGs are where games are actually going to find their NFT integration in a way that makes sense. So,
I mean, here's the thing, though. Ultimately speaking, you won't find, like, the winner of the NFT games, because it'll be, like, sheer luck straight out of left field. It'll be something where... My 2 cents is it'll be one of those projects where it's made by like a few people. It's like a passion project.
Yeah. I mean, some of the
like,
best games out there are like that.
Like if you're seeing a news article about it, you're not gonna make like 100x off of it. If you're seeing some big news on it, you're not gonna make 100x on it.
It's too late.
If you're trying to make like a lot of games, your best bet will just be like looking around. If you know people in the space, ask them, hey, did you hear about anything cool recently? It'll be like niche projects.
So, I mean, what I'm doing right now, I'm poking around Google looking for NFT games, and there's so many of them. I mean, if somebody's got disposable income and they want to say, hey, I want to gamble on an NFT project. I mean, it's one thing to say, oh, talk to the people in the space, but where do we find people in this space that would actually have insight onto which one of these is actually going to go somewhere? I mean, this one here, this Kitty Dinger, Kitmanji, they're like super early in their development to the point where to be buying into something like this now, you'd have to really have faith that the team is going to go anywhere. And I don't know this team, but is there any like real serious developer out there that's looking at making a game that we can count on to actually be good?
I mean, it was. Like, for example, I'm watching, like, a delayed version of the stream for what I see.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that Kitmanji, it honestly, I don't want to call it a scam because I don't honestly know if it is a scam or not. But it looks like one of those things where I would not be surprised if it didn't get to launch.
Well, you look at the roadmap, you see how early they are in the roadmap. There's a lot of things in between now and when they actually start. I mean, they've got it looks like they have an ambitious goal here because they're all over the place. They want to make this Kitmanji game, but they also want to make a wallet to facilitate use in the game. They want to donate to charity. They want to, I don't know, what is this? Help tackle the problem of rugs and scams. You might have a better idea than I do if this makes sense. KitPad. In order to help tackle the problem of rugs and scams in decentralized finance, KitPad will provide its holders with early access to safe, innovative projects with a relatively high potential. Strict measures will be taken to ensure the credibility of developers, therefore drastically reducing the risk of fraud and maleficence. I don't think that says a whole lot, but is there anything in there that would make you believe that there's actually going to be a tangible something that they're going to do to prevent rugs and scams? Or is this just like, corporate speak?
There's a million platforms that offer that kind of service where normally what they do is they make you do some kind of KYC where it's show your driver's license, show your face, just so that everyone knows who that person is. And if they just rug, they have your identity. But ultimately speaking, people will show you your face and give them your real name, and then they will rug you.
That's Usi Tech.
Really help.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that people don't understand very often when they think about Ponzi schemes and rugs, anything like that, is that they assume that if somebody is showing you their face, they're showing you their identity, that they're not a scammer. But when you look at things like, hey, do you guys remember, do you guys remember this? Remember this one back in the day?
BitConnect, OneCoin.
I mean, you guys remember this one?
What's up? BitConnect.
We got it. I want to watch this whole 3-minute video. It's a little loud. All these people on the stage are all the people behind BitConnect. They showed you their face, and they were running a scam the whole time.
To be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world
I remember.
is not anymore the way it used to be. No. Be connected.
I remember watching. I remember watching this in late 2017. When I thought that this was going to be the most exciting event of the decade, to watch BitConnect rise and fall. God. My God. I wonder whatever happened to this guy.
I watched an update on him, and apparently he is just a regular guy.
He said as much.
He's not a millionaire. He's not in the space. He got God.
Yeah,
apparently
he
his
said as
wife
much.
divorced him.
I mean, he said enough.
He moved on with his life, really. He hasn't done anything extraordinary since.
But you know what? I mean, this is the perfect person to have on your stage to talk about your NFT scam, your cryptocurrency scam, because he's got a lot of personality.
Also good for
he's
NFT
really hype.
scam.
I mean, he would. I think people would be a little bit more cautious now about this type of performance. But you look at everybody on that stage that are all involved in this thing. You've got the BitConnect administrators of their whole system behind them, showing you their face. You know who they are. They still rug the project. Usi Tech was another one. I don't know if you remember that one. It was very similar to BitConnect. I invested with Usi Tech, and I got scammed out of $900 back in 2017. I knew it was a Ponzi scheme. I knew it. I just thought I could get in and out quickly enough. I didn't know how good Ponzi's are at making sure that anybody who's withdrawing money just gets ghosted. They can just disappear with your money. You're not immune to the Ponzi, even if you think you are. I learned that lesson quick. This guy was just me with more personality and in a different platform. I was doing the exact same thing he's doing. So I know where his head was at when he's doing this.
Alright, so I'm just gonna add something real quick. Something I realized is where are the people in this space? Honestly, crypto, I don't know why everyone agreed to use Telegram. If you want to get deep into the crypto space, Telegram is basically mandatory.
Oh, dude, I'm all up in there right now. I'm actually making a video series right now that's primarily using Telegram. I'll give you a little preview.
It's I'm in for example, I told a couple people I know about this stream and that are probably watching. It was I'm watching their live reactions to it. It's okay, that Kitmanji doesn't look good. At least a couple other projects that they listed seem to have a better prospect. So I kind of feel like
Well, we'll come back to
there's a
this.
lot of things where if you've been in the space long enough, you can see either what is a scam or what will very likely be a scam.
So just to
It's
clarify,
just kind of
you
like,
said you showed somebody this one that we were talking about, and they said what? I was
like I'm in a group chat, and
Yeah.
it's just like there's a couple. I sent it saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be on a stream if anyone wants to watch." So
Oh, and they were commenting on these ones that we've done so far, the League of Legends thing and this Kitty Dinger.
the one they commented on was Bitmoji, or not Bitmoji,
Kitmoji. And what did they say?
Um, what is it? And then
Well,
it's
yeah.
an expletive name for a game.
Like a shitty name for a game? Oh, so they really haven't had much comment on it yet. I mean, there's so little
Oh
information
no,
on
no,
it.
it's yeah. I'm just gonna keep it at not very family friendly terms that may get you canceled.
Got it. Okay. All right, I got you. You were talking about the Telegram scam. So I'm actually doing something right now where I'm counter scamming scammers on Telegram, and I haven't made as much money off of it as I thought I was going to, but I'm up to about $70 of scam the scammer money. But I'm getting such good insight on how these scams operate. So Mariangel Osta hit me up on email and wanted me to hit her up on Telegram, and she's telling me, we want you to perpetuate this scam. How much does it cost? I'm just going to get money up front and then ghost her because it's a scam. But you look at one of the things that they're actually doing here. This is designed to deceive Taobao, Chinese e-commerce company, into thinking that you made orders, and that money gets deposited into your account that you can presumably withdraw. But it looks to me like you're spoofing orders. The money then goes into their own server, this scam server, and then you never actually get the opportunity to withdraw. So what she's trying to do to me is get me to recruit more people into this scheme so that they can make money very quickly that will never get withdrawn, and they just keep it. So I'm trying to get money from her up front before I ghost her. But they're really not playing ball. And then I got these are Tron scams. Anna Orlando, she wants me
हेलो
to
एवरीवन, कैसे हो सब? उम्मीद करता हूँ ठीक होंगे। आज की इस वीडियो के अंदर आप लोगों के साथ एक
she wants me to do this.
किस्म की अर्निंग वेबसाइट शेयर करने वाला
She's like, this is a great example of a video we want you to make.
लिंक से अपने दोस्तों को जो है
I was actually successful on this one. She paid me about $50 and then I ghosted her. I didn't ghost her. I actually argued with her for a long time about how it's actually a scam. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like all these people, they're just all hitting me up, trying to get me to make scam products for them. And Telegram, for one reason or another, seems to be that place where you can you can find scammers if you want to work with them.
I mean, scammer legit. All the crypto stuff seems to be in Telegram.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why. I mean, is that like particularly popular in Southeast Asia or something? This was another one today.
Like,
this guy Thomas, he
In
wants me
crypto
to.
in general, like even the places where it's like everyone has money, you find Telegram. I don't know why. Just everyone in crypto agreed at one point or another to use Telegram, and that's just it. The
Yeah.
only exception is like NFT stuff seems to be on Discord for some reason, but everything else is on Telegram.
Oh, that's actually a good point. Yeah, I wonder why NFTs tend to be there. But this was,
I honestly,
yeah, I don't know.
everyone decided on like a space and just sat there.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go where everybody else is when you're talking about your space. This one was another scam that somebody sent me, Bomb Bet. So he hits me up. Check out this conversation and tell me how great this sounds. He said, this is like a cold call. I've never heard this guy before. He said, Ritz. I said, Ruts. And he says he has a partnership idea. He wants to work with me. He found a vulnerability in this website. He found a vulnerability in this website where he can choose any person he wants to win this gambling
Okay,
game.
I don't mean to like
Oh, you
be
gotta
rude
go?
and stop right there.
Oh, you-
Already screamed scam to me.
Oh, yeah,
Like, there are
obviously,
people
yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Alright.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
no,
carry
no.
on.
You misunderstood. This is a cold call of somebody scamming. So he's like, hey, I found a vulnerability in a site. I want to hit you. I want to work with you specifically. He says he wants me to bet on the game, and he'll pick me as the winner, and I split the winnings with him 50-50. I mean, the obvious questions here would be, if you did find such a vulnerability in a game, why are you hitting up a stranger on the internet instead of just doing it yourself, or at least with a personal friend in life? But anyway, he's like, hey, check out the website and tell me which person who's currently competing you want to have win. So I was like, all right, pick this guy or whatever. And of course he can do it, and then pick the next guy. Of course he does it again. So I'm trying to get him to give me some money so I can play before I ghost him. So far, it doesn't look like it's happening. He doesn't want to give me any money to start. He wants to give me like a promo code, but that would still mean me losing money. The only thought I had was, well, obviously he actually is the guy managing the website, or his staff is managing this. They want you to send money. I'll see if I can get it up. There's like a way to deposit into it. You just send a Bitcoin to an address and it's suddenly in your game. But the only thing I thought of, well, if he wants me to do it several times, maybe if I bet $100 at first, he sends it to me, I withdraw it, and then he's expecting me to redeposit, reinvest so I can do it again, and I just don't. But I think that's too high of a risk for me to do that.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if they just never credit you in the first place.
Actually,
that's... they never let you withdraw, ever.
Well, yeah, there's always a barrier to withdrawal. Like on these Tron ones, TRX dot whatever. Let's see if I can get there. Tron dot... shit. Tron.cm, I think it is. Let me pop this one out and I'll log in with my stuff. 205. I'll see if I can get in and I'll show you exactly what this looks like. Account does not exist. All right, did I just get rugged?
Rugged live on stream.
No, I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, I've been getting so many scam hit-ups with this Tron service, like Tron cloud mining. Yeah, I think I got rugged. 607. Oh, no, I entered it wrong. That's why. I entered my fake phone number. Oh, no, it's still not letting me in. I think I got rugged here. Nope, I did get in. Okay. I was able to do it. So let me pop this back over onto the other side, and I'll show you the anatomy of a scam website. All right, I think you guys can see. Yeah, so this...
I was just going to say, honestly, in crypto, it's kind of weird, because, like, you can have someone say, hey, I will give you $1,000, versus someone saying, like, hey, yo, free money. Like, it's odd, because, like, you can have people say, hey, yo, free money right here. It's legitimately, sometimes you go for it because you can tell it's real, and sometimes you can't. It's kind of weird because, like, you also have to play it by, like, ear, but sometimes it's scams, sometimes it's legit, and you can just get a bunch of free money. It's like, I would not have anyone, like, who's like a super boomer in DeFi, because, like, they would get scammed and not quite be able to tell what a scam is and what it isn't.
I mean, I've been doing the freeloader challenge for a while, so I have to dig through haystacks of BS and bad investments and scams to find like a handful. I think I've probably gone through 100 different services. I found like 3 that are actually worth doing and are not free money, but very low risk, low effort money. But this one, I mean, I knew from the very beginning that this was going to be a scam, because they say that, you know, as soon as you log in, you're getting 5,000 TRX, so 5,000 Tron. But in order to get money, you have to deposit money first. So in the Sri Lankan time zone, which is kind of a red flag already, you can transfer to a basic account, you put your code in there, you send money to this Tron address, and then you recharge. So the lady who was perpetuating the scam on me, she gave me 40 Tron. I deposited 5 because I wanted to see how it works, and then I kept the other 35. But I noticed that once you deposit Tron, you can only withdraw 5% of what you deposit over time. So to withdraw from this, I'm only able to deposit, or what is it? It's even less than that. I think it's letting me deposit like a little bit less than 5%, withdraw less than 5% of what I deposit. And if you don't deposit every 3 days, then your account just disappears. So there's mathematically no way to withdraw more than what you're depositing into it. But I can see people being deceived by a website that looks like this, because this is very similar to like BitConnect all over again. Or Usi Tech is really what it's similar to, which is kind of like BitConnect. You deposit money, you get interest, but there's problems with withdrawing.
Also, just like, I'm just going to offer like a PSA to everyone. Everything on Tron is a scam. I've been in this space, and I've been on like 8 different chains. I've never had a need nor want to go on Tron. And I've never seen anything that supports Tron either. Like any project ever that I've been with.
I mean,
Just never
Tron,
support
yeah.
Tron.
I mean, I'm with you. I've never seen any legitimate project that actually uses Tron. It's just like kind of like another Dogecoin. You know, I mean, at least Dogecoin has a use, but
At least
Tron,
Dogecoin, you send someone funny dog coin. Tron is just, I've never seen anything legitimate on it, ever.
yeah. Max K is very disappointed that that a stream titled "The State of Crypto and NFTs." He says the stream turned into garbage with all this talk of NFTs, but I asked him to refer to the title. It's kind of the point of the stream today. We've got other streams that do other things, but today we were talking about NFTs and some scams behind it. But I look at things like this. You know, I look at this League of Legends. I look at this Kitty Dinger. I mean, we don't know which one of these games is going to be successful, but I wonder if what we see in this type. Where am I at? I wonder if what we're seeing in this type of gaming development is the one place that NFTs are going to have their home. And I still think it is a thing that we can add to our gaming environment, but I don't know if there's enough responsible developers out there to actually make it happen. I don't think these are inherently all scams. I think a lot of them just have too much work to do.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I'm saying is I don't think that these are necessarily scams. I think that they have a lot of work to do, and they don't have the teams behind them. They don't have the investors behind them to make sure that every project is seen through all the way to the finish. I think most of these projects are very small teams, and they're not getting paid right now. Like, who is the only way that the developer of Kitty Dinger is making money is if somebody now buys into this NFT game for a game that does not yet exist. So they have to offer people huge incentives to get into it now. There's no other way that Kitty Dinger can make money since there's no investors, there's no big wealth of cash behind it as though they were Activision or something like that. They have to sell things in advance. And I think that makes me and other people very skeptical that they really don't have an incentive to finish their project. But just for fun, let's go. Let's see what happens if I hit mint NFT and buy. Let's see what they actually do. All right, I was just here. So they're going to send 3,000 of them.
I mean,
So
here's
selling these
something
at
I noticed, like,
0.07 ETH.
from the project I've worked with, you actually need to sell things because otherwise people really don't become invested. Like, they don't care about the project because they don't have money in it.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
So-
I guess that's true for like a whole bunch. I don't know. Is that true for places like Activision, like real development firms? Like, they don't really. I think a lot of people working at EA Games don't really care about the game, but they do care about their job. So
Yeah, but it's
yeah,
one of those where it's like you can have people be invested in a franchise, but all these NFT games don't have franchises. They're completely new things.
right.
So in order to get people hyped up, you either need to have all the money set ahead of time and everything completely ready for a launch, or you need to get people invested. Those are like the only two ways that people care. Because once people are invested, they basically become a free resource for you. They help you market. They spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's true. As every person that participates becomes a walking billboard. So these guys are selling for. Hold on, I got a message here. All right, so here's the Kitty Dinger NFT collection. Let's see what this is their YouTube video. Let's see what it does. So 80 randomly generated. Okay, so you get characters in a game. I guess that's it. All right, so that's. All right, so let's do the math real quick. It looks like what Kitty Dinger wants to do is sell 3,000 for 0.07. So 0.07 times 3,000. That'll give them,
which would be about 630,000.
all right, so so their goal is to raise $630,000 to develop this game. I mean, to me tell me if I'm wrong, to me that sounds like a pretty good price for them to develop a game. But then the question becomes, all right, after they've sold that, after they've sold their 3,000, let's assume they sell out at a price of 0.07 ETH. So they make $630,000 of Ethereum. Is there impetus for them to continue making the game?
I mean, yes and no. Like, for example, I was in this project. It was called like Phantomon, and what they did is they did a pre-sale. They raised something like $250,000. they've spent a couple months so far, but they've been like rolling out stuff, kept working on it. So it's really like you need to gauge the character of the team. That's like the biggest deal here. It's like the way that website is set up, it screams generic crypto scam to me, or if not scam, just completely generic crypto thing. People may or may not care about it.
Yeah.
But it's the niche stuff that it's like, okay, the dev team actually cares about this, and they enjoy doing what they're doing. That's honestly like the biggest distinctive factor for what you do with NFTs, and like if you're buying into the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get you. Okay, so this looks very generic to you, is what you're saying. So you could see it going
like,
kind of either way, or it's just gonna, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't buy anything, like any of the NFT stuff, until they at least have something working. Like they need to have some kind of either staking system, or at least some basic system in place that shows that, okay, they're putting legitimate work into this, and they're not just raising money as their first step. The dev team has already put work into this without being paid.
Well, okay,
that shows like in more than just a wallet or something like that.
So
or
is
like
this is this a red flag to you then, that one of the first things that they're going to do is launch the NFTs?
Yeah, that they don't have anything publicly available to see. Like, for example, I've been in some projects before where I've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff where it's like, okay, I feel confident investing in this now because I see that they're putting work in. I see the progress that they're making, and that they're making assets for something before they've even made any money off of it. Like, assets for the game that they couldn't use otherwise. So you see that people are willing to put in time that they could have made money with.
Yeah, to work on a game. So they really give a shit about the game.
If they rug, they wouldn't get any of it. But if they legitimately make assets for the game and start working on the game before receiving payment, that's like a solid indicator to me that, okay, I could see a future for this.
So let's look at this. Here's Legends of Metaverse then. So, I mean, based on what you're saying there, because, I mean, there's got to be some game out there that we can identify where they're doing exactly what you're saying. Really putting the effort into the game, haven't launched yet, but we know that when they launch, there's going to be a game. Because that could be where I don't know. I don't know what this video is. Let's look at it.
I'll just mention, it's called Mortgard. I've worked with the team a bit, just like full disclosure. So just it's like I'm not trying to show anybody knowing that like I have some stuff in it. Mortgard.com, Mortegard.
Mortgard. All right, we'll check that one out next. I mean, this looks cool. I guess it looks cool. I don't know if it's real footage from the game though. I mean, these guys look like they're working.
They have a working beta of it on like a test net. So that's really what I like to see.
Are you seeing this video? These guys look highly motivated. I'll tell you, just inspiring. That guy, he's ready to go. So some concept art.
Honestly, that looks like solid to me.
I wonder, like, can we find like the development studio behind it? Like, I mean, right? They should have something about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that doesn't scream like a project that'll make you 100 or 1,000x because it's overhyped, it's massively produced, so they're gonna already raise obscene amounts of money from various other sources. Like, that looks like a game where I could legitimately see people playing it for the long term and people having a good time with it. Like, at least to me, like that Lens of the Metaverse, that to me, it looks decent because you can see, okay, not everything is completely made up. It's not just like that's a pre-rendered screenshot. You can see them working on everything. And there's an actual studio behind it. Yeah. So to me, like, ultimately at the end of the day, anything can pull rug at any time. But that gives me a bit of certainty in that project in particular, that they have things working before they're like, oh yeah, give us a bunch of money. But then again, they're also taking money right now and they're selling assets. So I'm not quite sure which one came first. But if they said pre-sale tomorrow, I would feel fine buying into this. if it was something that interested me and I thought I
Yeah.
could make money on.
All right, so I mean, it looks like, let's see. You know what immutable is? You ever heard of that before? Oh, Immutable X. That's the exchange that they're using.
I haven't heard of it, but there's a lot of marketplace exchanges. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it could just be
By
another
the
one
way,
of them.
in like the chat I'm in, I invited some people that also like know a good bit about crypto. They remind me of a few things that are like also big red flags for just anyone looking around. If they're promising like Binance or KuCoin or like Coinbase listing immediately, that screams scam because they can't guarantee that. Those kind of things take time to set up, and unless you have literally billions of dollars, you're not getting on everything at once. And promising them is like unresponsible.
Oh, yeah, I get
Same
that.
with like physical advertising, like billboards. That stuff generally doesn't go over well.
That's usually when somebody's like burning their extra money, you know?
That's they're trying to show that they're doing something, but like billboard in Times Square does nothing.
Oh, well, that's when like you've already made money and you just want to flex. You get a Times Square billboard.
Yeah.
Does the Unreal Engine, does that mean anything to you? Because I know a lot of people use that, but I don't know if that's like a low budget thing or if that's like the standard.
I mean, it's a game engine. It's a decent one. It's what they make real projects on. It doesn't scream bad to me. Ultimately speaking, nothing really, in terms of game engine, really screams like, this is going to be bad to me. Because you can make a good product with any of them. Well, not quite any of them, but if it's something that looks good and gets used by like other companies and so on, then generally speaking, you have a decent project. Because Unreal is also like what real video games use.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows that these people actually know how to make a video game if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like a game to play first.
And this might be just a minor detail, but I'm noticing that this Immutable X, I think this is either the same or a very, very similar website to what Axie Infinity does. So we've got, you can search by like class or whatever. I don't know if these do anything. Like I don't know if having a female Sapphire Eye Genesis character does anything, but they do have a good. All right, so here it is, 10% royalty. This is the whole point of NFTs and gaming right here. This 10% royalty going to the original minter of this NFT, I think that's the reason that developers would want to use NFTs in their game, because then it allows players to trade with each other, but there's always money going back to the developer every time that exchange takes place. And I know you talked about...
just letting you said, 10% to the minter means whoever bought it first, not necessarily the game developer.
Really?
Sometimes they'll give like a portion of it to the game developer, and a portion of it to whoever minted it at first.
Okay.
But if it just says 10% goes to the original minter, then in all likelihood means that the game studio isn't getting any money on it.
Oh. Well, I wonder why they would even care about that. So I wonder what this royalty is actually going to then. But you know what? Maybe it goes
originally.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes them sell out NFTs faster. It makes people buy them before they have a product.
Because you get a dividend. Okay. Yeah. Basically, you're getting a dividend out of it. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like looking at it now, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of it's a little bit much. I mean, it's like $300, a little less than $300. Like I'm not gonna buy it, but like yeah, it's a big buy-in fee, and I wonder how much you could make playing a play-to-earn game. Like, how long is it going to take you to recover that amount of money?
I think it depends on the game and how early you are. Because, for example, you might just be able to mint a couple of them, sell one of the NFTs that you minted initially, and then immediately have all your profit back and then some. But as time goes on, it'll take longer and longer to get an ROI.
Yeah, I mean, for a game that doesn't exist yet, too, so you got to get it out first, and then you got to play it to earn your money back. I mean, you could always sell the NFT, but that requires that the game is worth playing, that people actually want to buy it. I mean, I know Axies were, people made money on Axies. I don't doubt that in the least. But we got to find another game that can achieve that. I don't know. I mean, I don't dislike this project. I guess I'll just join their. I'm not going to join their Discord, but maybe I'll join like their watch list or something and just see. Because I don't know. I mean, it looks good enough to me. I don't know. I can't tell if these things are really any good or not, but it at least looks like they're trying. So.
Just something I noticed real quick. It says 10% royalty. I'm not sure how that royalty is split up, because it could be some of it goes to the developer, some of it goes to the original minter. it doesn't specify enough.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I get that. I mean, on Axie it goes to the minter, so I assume it's probably the same way here. But people are asking about they wanted to know about BlockFi again. I think we had a handful of people that joined later. I mean, nobody's watching a 2-hour live stream, but I just want to quickly go over kind of the title of this video. So BlockFi canceled it. BlockFi is not canceled. Their service that provides interest on their cryptocurrency is canceled. So BlockFi got a ruling. It looks like it started off in New Jersey. It's actually my home state. They are not allowed to sell crypto assets anymore to earn in a way that it would earn interest. So the original model, I hope it's going to take me right back. Fuck. All right. So I've got about $11,000 in BlockFi, all the assets, Ethereum, Bitcoin, stablecoins, whatever. You get money in interest for holding your money on BlockFi. A ruling out of New Jersey ruled that they are no longer allowed to do that. They can't take any more deposits in doing that because that makes it a security and they're not registered to sell securities. So in that regard, it got canceled. So that's what I mean when I say it's canceled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my money out of BlockFi and move it over to Coinbase because I think Coinbase is going to be more mature with my cryptocurrency than I am. I think I'm more likely to either lose or get wet this hardware wallet. So I actually trust Coinbase to hold it more than I do. That's what I mean about BlockFi being canceled. I think it's going to send a ripple across the other institutions that are offering interest. I think Celsius is going to have to cut it back. I think Coinbase might even have to cut back. They only have a few that offer interest. I think they're going to have to cancel that because it's now we have a ruling here that it is a security. And unless you are registered to sell securities, you may not do that. Or you will not do that. So that's what I mean by BlockFi being canceled. It's really disappointing for me because I was looking forward to continuing to get interest off of this. But the party is over, which sucks.
I mean, to be fair, for one, you really can't stop anyone from using DeFi. Like, some platforms say you're not allowed to use it in the U.S. No one cares. Everyone does.
Sure, yeah,
so
yeah.
You can't stop DeFi or exchanges that don't do KYC. Like, for example, KuCoin, they don't do KYC on anyone. And you can just, they have a line program.
Yeah, well, KuCoin is probably one of the best ones when it comes to keeping your anonymity. These other ones, the ones that are based in America, are not. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is I trust Coinbase more than I trust KuCoin.
I mean, fair, because if KuCoin goes bankrupt, it sucks to be you. If Coinbase goes bankrupt, you can go down to their office and complain.
Right, somebody actually can go there, do some.
Yeah.
Oh, here we got metaverse development. All right, let's see. Let's take. I was just poking around the other one that we were looking at, the Kitty Dinger. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like because I like that League Legends of Metaverse. I wonder what this one is going to end up looking like. Here's Kit Manji development apparently. While we're doing that. So, Bella Schulsinger says Legends of Metaverse seems to be an awesome project. I mean, that's the one that I've preferred to look at so far. Would be Legends of Metaverse. I think it's a long way to go before it actually gets its game out there, but it's the most promising project that I've looked at so far, and I'm still looking for that one that's really going to be the winner. I haven't put my money anywhere yet, but at some point I'm going to want to buy into at least one of these games. This Kit Manji, I mean, I don't know, it looks fine to me. It looks actually remarkably similar to what a lot of the other ones are doing.
I mean, here's the thing to me, though. You need to remember ROI. Because, for example, if the Legends of the Metaverse, they're already going for $300 a piece, you're going to need to have someone for a 10x to buy it off you for $3,000.
Well, 10x is an ambitious amount, isn't it?
Welcome to crypto. 10x as usual. I expect 1,000x minimum end of week.
You guys scare me a little bit with these high numbers. I don't know. I have yet to achieve anything like that.
Crypto, it's a high-risk, high-reward game. So 10x legitimately is not overly ambitious because on average there's probably 15 rug pulls for every good project. So it's really go big or go home. It's not like you need to punch a ton of money all into one project, but it's something where you should expect to lose all your money. And if you make massive gains, that's a plus.
That sounds like a little bit like buying call options. I'm not sure if we watched this video yet. This is one of the other League of Metaverse ones. But while we're looking at this one, JD says, do I think canceling interest rate is America or worldwide? That's an American ruling, so I assume it's America. for sure. I don't think the rest of the world is going to have to. In fact, BlockFi didn't cancel interest for the rest of the world. They only canceled it for America. Quidzel wants to know who you are. That's Panzer. That's Panzer from Discord. You know him. All right, so here's another one. I guess this is more still on the Unreal Engine. It's a game. I mean, this looks like a game to me. So. Is it Gary V or CCP Shill? It's Panzer. I'm waiting to see what this teaser does. So they're just kind of showcasing the development of the game. I mean, I think what you've said before about, we'll check DeFi Kingdoms next, Lloyd. I think what you were saying before about they're actually demonstrating that they are creating a game before they're making a ton of money off of it. I think this one here, Legends of Metaverse, is demonstrating that with the videos that they've released so far. And then we've got Kitmanji over here. Oh, I guess let's see what this one is. I'm glad these have YouTube videos or like YouTube channels so we can actually see what it looks like. And this is the other one. This is Kitmanji. Is this the same game?
Probably use the same engine.
Okay, sure. 5 o'clock. Hold on one second, guys. Here, I'll play something real quick. I'll be right back. I don't know. Here, let's look at you guys look at this. I'll be right back.
So I guess I'm just gonna take over the stream then. At least answer a few questions maybe. Max B got it wrong on the royalties. OpenSea Immutable X. The fees are split between the creator and the project and the marketplace. Well, on Immutable X, it says that it mentions 10% royalties explicitly that go to the project or someone with the project, either whoever minted it initially or like the creators of the project. Then most marketplaces have a flat fee attached to it as well. For example, I know on OpenSea that's 2.5%. No matter what happens, you're paying that 2.5% fee.
Yeah. Okay. I got a few minutes left, guys. I got to get ready to take my family to Disney on Ice. So we're going to do that. What did I miss from this Kitty Dinger thing? Anything worthwhile?
Actually, I'm looking through the Kitty Dinger right now, and I was just curious to look through it, see if anything throws up any red flags. And it seems like a lot of links are like 404ing for me, or like they say they don't exist.
What, on Kitty Dinger?
Like they say they're on Fox. Like they say that they were seen on like Fox News, CBS, NBC. First of all, it shows like local affiliate stations, and second of all 3 of them that I clicked just gave me an error saying that like the article does not exist.
Yeah, I'm 0 for 1. Well, this is Schrodinger cat. This is from Bloomberg. This one works.
That's the
from November.
okay.
Coral Gables. It mostly just repeated. I think it just crawled their website. I don't know. I think between the two, I think this one is definitely the preferred option. League of Metaverse. I mean, it is definitely a play to earn. So there's going to be money to be made here. I think the big challenge would be being able to get. Oh, this is more stuff here. Oh, this is the whole. Okay, so we've got more games to look at as well. I don't really have time to look at anymore. But all right, so Immutable X is kind of the place to go.
I'm just looking over Kid Game right now. I'm probably just tearing it apart a bit much, but that was just what I see.
No, I got you, man.
Something I noticed is that they have a tech rate audit, and to anyone that doesn't know, tech rate is like the worst audit company possible. Mm-hmm. Like, they do really cheap, they don't actually do anything good, and they can miss a lot of serious errors, and they will just basically approve anything.
Okay, so out the window already. But all right, so Legend, I don't know. I'm on the fence about, is Legends of Metaverse going to be the one, because they've got a long way to go. But I do like a lot of what I'm looking at so far. It's play to earn, but I don't know. Maybe why don't I join the Discord and let's just see what happens. Let's see what the conversation looks like.
Something else I'll just add is there won't be like the one, because ultimately people are interested in different games and the like. So you could very easily see like a dozen very popular games. They're all like PDE crypto.
All right, so we don't need to find the one then. All right, so I'm a member now. This is their Discord. Let's see what the conversation actually looks like, or their most recent announcement. Let's see that. Here's their team. I mean, some of you guys are going to think I'm a little bit crazy, but I might actually take some of the freeloaded money and buy one of these NFTs. Is that totally off? I don't think that's crazy, because if you believe that this has some potential and you're more experienced this than I am, then I don't know, I might take a pass at it. We'll see. I mean, the worst that could happen, I lose $300, but I think that this is probably one of the projects that's going to go somewhere.
I see potential. I don't see massive ROI, because I think they're probably just going to have millions of dollars thrown at them already. So in order to get like massive gains, you're going to need to see like tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even billions, to see like the real big, like what everyone thinks of when they think crypto gains.
I mean, your goals are a lot higher than mine is. I mean, remember, if I make a video of myself playing this game, I'll probably make more money than I would by actually playing the game.
True.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but if I go on Twitch and I start playing a video game, I'm not going to do that on YouTube, because I don't think my YouTube audience wants to watch me play video games, but Twitch will.
Like, if you want to, I can send you, like, the projects I'm in personally. They're a lot smaller, and they're each, like, 2 or 3 dev teams. So they're a lot smaller, but I feel like they're going to ROI better.
I mean, yeah, by all means, go for it. I think there's going to be room for me to give a shot at these, and we'll see. Let's see what else we got in here. Prevent scams, DM off. Oh, so this, okay. How to invite official links.
By the way, to anyone who doesn't know, in crypto, like crypto discords, you will get a lot of spam and scam messages.
No, we all know that already. We all know that.
Yeah. Well, I assume that there are people who don't even know what a Bitcoin is, just in the audience in general. So I don't want someone complaining to you saying that I or you somehow made someone lose all their money.
No, I mean, that's... I told people about a penny stock one time and they actually bought it. So I mean, I know that what I tell people is actually gonna go somewhere. Maybe I'll mint my own cryptocurrency and pump it up, as kind of cool says. But I mean, I'm glad we had this conversation. I gotta kind of get wrapping it up here, but I'm glad we had this conversation, because this gives me a little bit of confidence to look. I want to look at the projects that you described. I'm gonna follow this group's Discord. I mean, it's cool art. You know, it looks good. I mean, the Unreal Engine, I don't know. It seems to be the standard here. So I could work with that.
Unreal is also used in like big games, so Unreal, it's not a bad sign at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could work with that. I guess this. All right, so this is on the Ethereum blockchain. We know, because we've got it over here. So it's not like it's being traded on like shitcoin blockchain. It's Ethereum, so it's respectable.
I mean, the reason The reason that throws me off is Ethereum fees. I hate them. They're incredibly expensive. I don't like them. I try to stay away from Ethereum for that reason.
Well, it's not the perfect one to be trading back and forth with, right? Did I make an account on this already?
It's just something about the fees like bothers me. It's just...
Yeah, I know. I get that. It can be pretty expensive. I thought there was another link on here I wanted to see, but
on OpenSea, a sale right now costs you $48.
All right, for how much money? Like just any kind of any amount of Ethereum?
It's a set amount of Ethereum based on the gas price. But I just have a website that just tells me how much certain transactions cost on Ethereum. And yeah, it's saying $48 for selling something on OpenSea right now.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me. I have to ditch that.
Yeah.
Ditch that idea. But I mean, it's if you're making a $900 investment already or a $300 investment, I know I can get it. I don't know. I might take past it. I'm going to at least follow them in Discord and see what they have to say because it looks like something's going on here. I don't know. What's their next minting? There's going to be some announcement. When's the next time that they're actually minting new stuff? Launch important update, ton of marketing plan, legends. All right, so there's their website. The lore. All right, they're building out lore. Here's more stuff. Okay. I mean, I dig it. I dig the project. I don't know if I come across an extra $300 of crypto, I might take a shot at it. Why not? We'll see where it goes with it.
Yeah.
But so far, I like what I see. Oh, you sent me that? Okay.
I sent you the links to the two that I'm in. One's on Polygon, the other's on Phantom. They're both really low gas fee.
Okay.
Like chains.
Yeah, I've heard about those ones too.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. It's like there's almost like a certain agreement of like certain chains get used for certain things. Mm-hmm. Like Phantom has a lot of NFTs. Like AVAX has a lot of shit coins. BSC is just dead at this point. And then from there it just becomes like a wide variety of whatever any chain has.
Yeah. Okay. That works for me. I mean, I think there's probably better ones out there than Ethereum. But here, let me see. I'm looking on my phone so I can find a site before I start poking around on it here. Let me see. This is the last thing I'll pull up because I don't know. I want your opinion on this. Legendsofmetaverse.com. I want your opinions on this before I make a decision on it. Because I don't know what this is. So they're selling chests. Tranche chest. That's a little bit. So 22, that's like $600, right?
Can you send the link over?
Yeah, and I'll put it in the chat so you can grab it there.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right. Yeah, I really got to get rolling, but this is the last thing I want to while you're checking it out real quick. The people that actually they're coming in and asking about BlockFi. BlockFi didn't get canceled in total, but its program of interest on cryptocurrency got canceled, so you can no longer get interest on crypto. You can still use it as a wallet, but you can't deposit to the interest-bearing accounts anymore. But this is the chest minting event March 3rd. I'm going to keep it on my watch list and see how this goes. Because there's going to be some, you're saying there's not going to be the one game, and I believe that. That means there's going to be multiple good choices. Like, I want to get in on the next Axie Infinity before it becomes Axie Infinity. So,
I mean,
I don't know if I'm going to spend $600 on it.
Projects.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, the one you talked about, I could see it going well, but it's one of those where it's already big, so it depends on what kind of profits you're going to make. Because think about it like this. You're putting in $300, and buying and selling the NFT is going to cost you $50
like
each
$100.
way.
Yeah.
Plus the 10% royalty that you get when you sell it. Fees really pile up.
Oh, yeah. I get that. No, I feel you. Okay. Well, I got to get wrapping up here. I don't know. I'm going to add this. I think I already put this in the chat. Yeah, I'm like, when you get time, just like, I just put it in the live stream chat, Legends of Metaverse /chests. It looks like there'd be no chance of me actually getting one of these anyway because they already pretty much sold them all. 400 plots pledged. I don't know, whatever. But I'm gonna follow this game and see where it goes. I don't know about this Kitty Dinger one. I mean, I'll probably just watch it for fun. But I think
seems like round 1 is what sold out in like milliseconds, but round 2 will be like March 3rd.
But it looks like they already pledged plots. So does that mean that as soon as it goes live, there's going to be 4,000 people bidding on 2,000 items?
I mean, I think they sold 4,500 out of the 2,000 pledge, but I don't know how many are going to be in tranche 2.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll follow it. I'm going to check it out.
Probably just going to be more expensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it prices me out, it prices me out. But it would be good content even just to see where it goes. I mean, it looks cool. It's cool art. It sounds like they're actually really serious about making a game here. So I can dig. I'll just hang out in there. I'll just add their Discord to my other Discord follows. And we'll see if this one ends up being a really good choice for us. For me. I can't speak for everybody, but I do want to give a shot at one of these games and see if I could find the Axie before it becomes Axie. Anyway, I really got to go here before my wife ends up killing me, but thank you for joining me very much, Panzer. And
thanks for having me on, Mikey.
I'm gonna DM you because I'm gonna give you something for participating here. Nothing crazy. Don't get excited, but I'm gonna do something to pay you for the hour that you sat here with me. But and thank you for everybody that joined for the live stream, and thank you for those that super chatted especially. And I will see you guys next time. And now I got to check what Coinbase. Before we go anywhere, I got to check Coin stock because they had earnings, and it didn't move. Okay, good. All right, see you guys later.